What started as a quick trip for water escalated fast. Next thing anyone knew, the so-called sales queen was swept off her feet, right as the ex returned with poorly timed hope. He walked in thinking it was reconciliation time, only to catch wind that someone else had already won the trophy. He didn't expect the new MVP to be some broke guy with a beat-up backpack and no name-brand shoes. Turns out this nobody came with hidden stats and cheat codes. The calm and classy counselor? Yep, totally caught feelings too. Even the ice queen of campus cracked first, all thanks to him. Someone's big sis literally set alarms to make heart-shaped eggs for the guy. Priorities, right. Plot twist, Shen Yuan wasn't always chill and broke. He used to be royalty in sneakers. Day one of college, he casually charmed the top-tier senior everyone else just admired from afar. His life was goals, until year 3 flipped the script like a bad plot twist. One financial disaster later, and boom, his empire crumbled faster than a cookie in milk. He tried inviting the squad for a gaming sesh, but all he got was side eyes and a reminder that his VIP badge had expired. Former bros became strangers faster than Wi-Fi drops during a storm. People ghosted hard and back home. His fam downgraded from luxury condo to leaky rental. With nowhere else to go, he dragged his suitcase back to the dorm, now just a guy with history. The VIP lifestyle? Out the window. Now he was just another student waiting in line at the laundry room. Future unclear. Vibes, 404 motivation not found. Then came a mysterious meetup request from his current girlfriend. Cue dramatic background music. She showed up cool as ice, not a single eyebrow flinch. And just like a cliffhanger in a soap opera, she dropped the breakup bomb. Game over, Shen Yuan. She casually dropped the no future card like it was just another Tuesday. And just to seal it with a cherry on top, she wished him luck finding someone with more brain and less baggage. Shen Yuan just stood there. Emotion, EXE had stopped responding. He blinked hard, still processing that 3 years of data just got deleted like spam mail. His voice finally caught up, laced with that classic breakup disbelief. She let out a dry laugh that could curdle milk, questioning if love was even on the menu. Her tone said, "Come on, even you knew this was on borrowed time." With an eye roll, she retired the nickname like it was a cringy ringtone from 2010. She muttered something about outdated vibes, like she was updating her emotional software. Then she bilayed mid-sentence, tossing a "let's not meet again" over her shoulder like a mic drop. Just when she reached for the car handle, bam, door slam, drama alert. He calmly pointed out that those luxury bags probably wouldn't vibe with her new story arc, and suggested ever so helpfully that she return them, like library books she forgot to check in. Her face morphed from cool exit to seriously in 0.2 seconds. His name dropped from her lips like a warning siren. She hit him with a full-blown roast. 3 years together, and all he had to show for it was a few handbags and a receipt. He gave her the tiniest smile, the kind that says, "Oh, we're doing this now." Then he went full curveball. If she didn't want to pay him back, how about a little nostalgia session instead? Before things could escalate, her ride rolled down the window like a movie villain and tried to play the cool guy, and tossed out a little brother line that landed with all the subtlety of a wet sock. Pro tip, condescension is not a personality. Smirking face. The man in the car offered a ride, like it was an Uber with extra drama. Shen Yuan internally chuckled at how ting ting sounded both tacky and somehow not, but shrugged it off, replying calmly, "Nah, my place is literally 2 steps away." The guy in the car kept it up, "No rush, no rush." Classic. Then he threw in a little brother comment, like he was offering a hug instead of a ride. Shen Yuan smirked inwardly. "Nice try with the mind games, but I'm no rookie." He almost laughed out loud. "You think I'm that clueless?" He leaned casually on the car door, suddenly all chill. "Hey, big guy. You're a good guy," he said with just a dash of sarcasm. "But seriously, my place is literally right there." He gave the car door a little tap like it was an old friend. "By the way, Wanting's a good girl, take care of her. Do her right from here on out," he added, like he was giving away a final instruction manual. Shen Yuan let out a dramatic sigh. "As men, we should always give our best. Oh, and just FYI, Wanting has some, preferences you might want to know, starting with Akamoto ones and stockings that aren't too fancy. Oh, and nurse or police uniforms are her thing, apparently." The guy's face went from smug to pale faster than a Wi-Fi connection on dial-up, rage simmering under the surface. And then, vroom, the car zoomed off like it had somewhere important to be. Shen Yuan just stood there, watching the car vanish like an expensive car chase scene in a movie. A cold smile crept onto his face, and he muttered, "Big guy, I was just warming up." With a bit of mockery, he added, "Guess wanting really did pick the right guy, huh?" He sighed, lost in his own thoughts for a moment. "Whatever," he muttered. "She's not my problem anymore. I just hope her choice works out for her, though. You know, perfect life and all." And just when he thought he was done, a voice echoed in his ear. "Yeah, everyone should live their best life, huh?" Suddenly a glowing panel popped up out of nowhere, flickering like it was trying to tell him something. "Perfect life system initializing." Yeah, sure, why not? Shen Yuan froze for a second, completely caught off guard. He stared at the text, thinking, "Wait, am I the host now? But I'm not dead, right? This can't be real. Am I hallucinating?" The panel went on like it was explaining an overly complicated board game. "A perfect life requires wealth and the favor of the opposite sex. Mission: spend money on a female friend with a favorability score above 60 to win her affection. Reward: get 3 times your money back. Oh, and if her score goes up by 3 points, the refund doubles. Note: only personal savings or cash. No funny business." Shen Yuan tried to shake it off, muttering, "This is rigged. This isn't real. Get out of my head." But no matter how much he shook his head, the panel just stayed there like an annoying ad. Just then, a familiar voice called from behind him, "Shen Yuan." It was loud and clear, with just a hint of "get it together" in it. "Come on, man, it's just a breakup, not the end of the world." Shen Yuan turned around and saw his student counselor, Sali Xiao. She flashed a faint smile and added, "Isn't it just bye-bye? On to the next, right? That's what guys always say, right?" Shen Yuan froze, his eyes suddenly glued to Li Zhao, where a number was flickering above her head. Just then the panel chimed in again, Li Zhao's favorability toward the host, 65. Shen Yuan's mind started to race. A number above her head. Wait, could this perfect life system actually be real? Wasn't this just some weird hallucination? Seeing him still dazed, Sali Xiao just smiled and gave his shoulder a light pat. Shen Yuan snapped out of it. "Don't space out." Shen Yuan snapped back to reality, his mind racing in astonishment. "Am I actually lucky for once?" He scratched his head awkwardly, trying to play it off. "It's nothing, just a little sudden, that's all." Seeing he had calmed down, Sali Xiao asked, "By the way, about that scholarship I mentioned last time, what do you think? You need to submit your documents soon. This is the only way I can help you right now." But Shen Yuan replied coldly, "A few thousand yuan won't even touch my family's debt. Why not give it to someone who actually needs it?" Hearing this, Sali Xiao didn't press further. She just nodded lightly. "All right. If you ever need anything, even relationship advice, feel free to come to me." With that, she turned to leave. "I'll get going now. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out." As he watched her walk away, Shen Yuan's mind raced. Li Zhao fit the system's time-limited mission criteria. "If I complete it, will I really get double the refund? Should I test it?" With that thought, he stepped forward and grabbed Li Zhao's hand. "Miss Li, thank you for always looking out for me. Wait a second. Let me buy you a drink." Smiling, he handed her a cup of milk tea. "Here, Miss Li, this is for you." Seeing the milk tea, Shen Yuan passed it to her. Li Zhao's face flushed instantly, and she murmured softly, "Thank you." At that moment, Shen Yuan's phone vibrated. Checking the message, he saw his balance had been 87 yuan. After spending 6 yuan on milk tea, it dropped to 81 yuan. Then he received an 18 yuan deposit, bringing his balance to 99 yuan. It worked. The double cashback was real. A thought struck Shen Yuan. If he could keep Ms. Li's favorability above 60, he could continue spending money on her and earn cash back from the system. Right, that means I have a chance to pay off my family's debt. And if I play this right, we could even become wealthier than before. Determination filled Shen Yuan's eyes. "I'll get back to where I was. No, I'll surpass my former self. But right now, my total funds are only 99 yuan. Way too little. The most urgent task is securing more capital and finding the right women to spend money on, so I can truly start my comeback." A moment later, Shen Yuan checked his account statements and quickly calculated. Gold bar credit limit, 8,000 yuan. Loan limit, 20,000 yuan. Business loan, 21,585 yuan, plus his 99 yuan balance. That gave a total of 49,684 yuan. In Ms. Li's eyes, he was just a student from a fallen wealthy family. If he wanted her to accept an expensive gift, "I need to be a bit more subtle." Time passed. An hour later, Shen Yuan had already bought a handbag, then promptly tossed it into the trash. The bag cost 39,800 yuan, part of this year's spring collection. I have to admit, this high-quality replica should be good enough for Miss Li to accept. Standing outside Li Zhao's apartment, he knocked on the door, wondering if Miss Li had a boyfriend. The door opened and Li Zhao looked surprised. Shen Yuan, is that you? Shen Yuan flashed a casual smile and said lightly, Sorry to disturb you, Miss Li. Were you cooking? Li Zhao studied him with a hint of suspicion. Is something wrong? Shen Yuan hesitated for a moment, then spoke sincerely. Miss Li, you've looked after me for 3 years in college. I used to take it for granted, but today I truly realize how valuable and heartwarming your help has been. This is just a small token of my appreciation. I really hope you'll accept it. Li Zhao immediately waved her hand, a slightly embarrassed smile crossing her face. I treat all my students the same way. Shen Yuan smiled slightly but continued to insist. Actually, it's just a high-quality replica. It's only worth 200 yuan. Miss Li, you know my family situation. Do you think I can afford to waste money? You've helped me so much, and I don't want to just accept that without giving something in return. This bag might not be worth much, but it's a small gesture of my gratitude. If you don't mind, please take it. After a moment of hesitation, Li Zhao finally nodded. All right, since you're so insistent, I'll accept it. I'll return the favor someday, maybe during a holiday or on your birthday. Just as they were talking, a sudden burnt smell wafted out from the kitchen. Li Zhao's eyes widened in shock. She rushed toward the kitchen, shouting, Oh no, my stir-fry is burning. She peeked her head out from the kitchen and saw Shen Yuan still standing at the door. With a smile, she said, Shen Yuan, you haven't had dinner yet, have you? Stay and eat with us. Shen Yuan smiled to himself, thinking, as long as Miss Li doesn't have a boyfriend, I can get closer to her. He knew that close interactions could effectively increase her favorability, allowing him to earn more cash back from the system. Just then, his phone vibrated. A transfer notification popped up on the screen. Account ending in 0.098. Deposit 119,400 yuan. Current balance 120,200 yuan. Seeing his balance surge, Shen Yuan was ecstatic. A 39,800 yuan handbag had yielded a cashback of 119,400 yuan, 3 times the amount. After deducting the cost, he had made nearly 80,000 yuan in profit. He had spent 80,000 yuan before, but this was the first time he had actually earned money. Making money on his own felt incredible. This was youth. This was victory. Just as he was basking in his excitement, Li Zhao's voice snapped him out of it. Shen Yuan, sit down and eat. What are you spacing out for? Shen Yuan glanced at the table. There were 2 sets of utensils. With a curious expression, he asked, Just the 2 of us. Miss Li, where's your boyfriend? Li Zhao was momentarily startled, then let out a soft chuckle. Boyfriend? That's a problem I haven't figured out yet. Realizing the situation, Shen Yuan awkwardly said, Miss Li, let me help you clean up. It'll just take a minute. However, before he could even move, a sudden voice called out, What do you think you're doing? Shen Yuan turned sharply, only to see Li Zhao's younger sister, Li Meng, standing at the doorway, eyes filled with hostility. Flustered, Shen Yuan quickly explained, It's nothing. Meanwhile, Li Zhao noticed her sister had returned and smiled. Why are you home so late today? Come eat. Turning to Shen Yuan, she introduced her. This is my younger sister, Li Meng. Shen Yuan met her gaze, seeing the clear look of disdain in her eyes. Feeling uneasy, he quickly greeted her with a hi. Hello. Li Meng responded coldly, I feel sick. The awkwardness in the air was palpable. Sensing the tension, Shen Yuan quickly said, Miss Li, I already ate before coming. I should head back to school. See you there. Li Zhao seemed a little confused, but you were about to sit down. Why the sudden rush as soon as Shen Yuan left? Li Meng leaned in and whispered into her sister's ear. Sis, do you even realize what's happening? That guy is totally after you. He's got ulterior motives. Li Zhao's face stiffened slightly. She quickly cut her off. Don't be ridiculous. Shen Yuan is just my student. Now sit down and eat. Stop overthinking it. Back at school, Shen Yuan walked while deep in thought. Who should I spend money on next? Miss Li was a teacher, so many had to be careful. Besides, she didn't seem materialistic like Zhou Wanning. Just as he was lost in thought, someone suddenly bumped into his shoulder. Turning around, he saw his roommate, Huang Heibao. Huang Heibao's hands were trembling as he held up his phone. In a hushed voice, he said, "Bro, oh my goddess, Fang Menhui. She just went to the movies with that hitman, Li Zhengpeng. Fang Menhui, that's how Huang Heibao always referred to her. She was the flower of the international trade class and the girl he had been secretly in love with for a long time. They had never interacted before, not even spoken a word to each other. Hearing the news, Shen Yuan chuckled awkwardly. Well, good luck with that. Huang Heibao looked confused. Bro, what kind of reaction is that? Don't tell me you're laughing at me. Just then, the two of them suddenly saw Fang Menhui appear in front of them. Huang Heibao's eyes lit up with excitement. She just went to the movies with Li Zhengpeng. But Yuan, bro, they didn't go to a hotel afterward. I'm so happy. That means I still have a chance, right? Shen Yuan glanced at Huang Heibao, feeling slightly exasperated. You like a girl, but you act like her servant. Heibao, what exactly do you get out of this? But at that moment, Shen Yuan's eyes suddenly widened, and his heartbeat quickened. He gasped under his breath. Damn, she has a number above her head too, and it's even higher than Miss Li's. As Fang Menhui walked by, her friend whispered to her, Did you hear? Shen Yuan just got dumped by his girlfriend. Upon hearing that, Fang Menhui couldn't help but glance back at Shen Yuan. Her friend continued, I never liked Shen Yuan. Remember back in freshman military training. I shouldn't have encouraged you to approach him, or even bought him that drink. Rich kids all have bad tempers. They think they're superior just because their families have money. That's understandable. But if their family goes bankrupt and they're still that arrogant, who wouldn't dump them? Good thing you two never got together. Otherwise, that would have been 3 years of your life wasted. Xinyuan suddenly noticed that Fang Menhui's favorability score toward him was dropping rapidly. He frowned. I finally come across a girl who already has some favorability toward me, and it's suddenly tanking. No way. I can't just sit back and let this happen. In a hurry, he grabbed Huang Heibao's shoulder and whispered, Heibao, if I start dating Fang Menhui, would you mind? Huang Heibao struck a pose he thought was his most attractive and smirked. The problem is you couldn't even get the campus bell when you were rolling in money, and now you think you can? But if you really want to know, no, I don't mind. As long as she doesn't end up with Li Zhengpeng, she can date whoever she wants. Xinyuan grinned, excitement surging in his chest. That's what I was waiting to hear. I'm going after her. Before the words had fully left his mouth, he was already sprinting toward Fang Menhui. He called out loudly, Fang Menhui. Both she and her friend froze in surprise. Neither of them had expected Shen Yuan to suddenly call out to her. Her friend quickly stepped in front of her, watching him warily. Shen Yuan, what do you want? Shen Yuan smiled casually and said, Actually, I wanted to ask, are you free tomorrow? I've reserved a table at Four Seasons Sushi. Would you like to have dinner with me? Fang Menhui was caught off guard by the sudden invitation. Her friend, however, was skeptical about Shen Yuan's finances. That Japanese place starts at over 1,000 yuan per person. Are you sure you can afford that? Shen Yuan kept smiling as he spoke calmly. After dinner, let's take a walk. I have a small favor to ask. I'd like your help picking out a birthday gift for my little sister. If you're okay with it, let me know by noon tomorrow. Before Fang Menhui could respond, Shen Yuan smiled and said, I'll head out now. We'll talk tomorrow. Fang Menhui hesitated and said, We just watched a movie with Li Zhengpeng, and now I'm going to dinner with someone else. Is that really okay? But her best friend grinned and said, Go for it, it's not a big deal. Besides, it's top-tier Japanese food. Her friend added, Shen Yuan might be a little materialistic, but he's good-looking. Li Zhengpeng's just rich. If Shen Yuan's family hadn't gone bankrupt, Li Zhengpeng wouldn't even stand a chance. Fang Menhui hesitated briefly, but in the end, her friend's words swayed her. With a faint smile, she said, All right, it's just dinner and a bit of shopping. It's not like I'm doing anything wrong. I'll text him later. The next evening, the two of them met at the Japanese restaurant as planned. Soon after, the waiter arrived and set down the premium 2-person meal that Shen Yuan had ordered. After the waiter left, Fang Menhui looked at Shen Yuan and said, I heard your family's been having a hard time lately. You really don't need to spend money like this. Shen Yuan smiled casually and replied, It's fine. This place serves incredible Japanese food, totally worth it. Watching Fang Menhui's subtle expressions and slight shyness, Shen Yuan felt a strange emotion stir inside him. He told himself, calm down, relax. We haven't even played cards together in 2 months. Don't get nervous, just stay cool. Fang Menhui felt a little awkward. While she was moved by Shen Yuan's gesture, she couldn't help but feel a bit suspicious. She asked, "Did you really invite me just to help pick a birthday gift for your sister?" Shen Yuan's eyes flickered as he looked at her and replied steadily, "Honestly, I've wanted to ask you out for dinner for a while. I just never found the right chance." As soon as those words came out, Fang Menhui's favorability score plummeted. Shen Yuan panicked slightly. Did that upset her? Why is her affection dropping again? Determined to recover, he softened his tone and said sincerely, "Back during military training, you used to buy me drinks and talk with me at night. I've always cherished those memories." Fang Menhui looked surprised for a moment, then gave a small smile. "I'm surprised you still remember that." Shen Yuan chuckled and scratched the back of his head. "How could I forget?" The mood between them subtly changed. Shen Yuan silently reminded himself again, "Stay calm. Stay calm." An hour later, Shen Yuan paid the bill and they left. The dinner had cost him 2,700 yuan. Fang Menhui was touched. That meal alone was nearly equivalent to her monthly living expenses. In contrast, even though Li Jianpeng came from a rich family, he acted like a total cheapskate on their movie date, insisting they just eat at the school cafeteria and never even offered to take her to a real restaurant. At that moment, Shen Yuan's phone buzzed. A notification popped up. 8,322 yuan has been deposited into your account ending in 98. New balance, 125,778 yuan. A second text followed immediately. Deposit, 5,578 yuan. Current balance, 131,356 yuan. System notification time-limited mission. Spend money on a girl whose favorability is above 60 to increase her affection. Reward, the amount spent will be refunded at 3 times the value. If the affection score increases by 3 points, the refund rate will be doubled. Watching his bank balance surge, Shen Yuan could hardly contain his excitement. He glanced at Fang Menhui's favorability score. It had jumped from 72 to 76. He smirked to himself. So that's how it works. One dinner and I earned 10,000 yuan. That's insanely satisfying. The more Fang Menhui looked at Shen Yuan, the more attractive he seemed. She couldn't help but think, so this is what they mean by the charm of money. Instinctively, she linked her arm with his and smiled. "Come on, let's go. We still need to find a gift for your sister at the International Finance Center." But just as they reached the entrance, Shen Yuan ran into his ex-girlfriend, Zhou Wanting, and her uncle. Zhou Wanting's first reaction was one of confusion. Why is he here, she wondered. They had just broken up yesterday, and today he was already shopping with another girl. The older man beside her shot Shen Yuan a scornful glance and scoffed. "Pathetic. What's a broke student like you doing in a place like this?" Her uncle was seething inside. "I just spent a fortune on luxury bags for Wanting. And now this broke kid has the nerve to come here with another woman. A debt-ridden, bankrupt student. How the hell does he even have a girl with him?" Shen Yuan leaned closer to Fang Menhui and whispered, "Let's check out a different store." Seeing this, the older man smirked. "You're already at the entrance, why not come in and take a look? It's free, after all." Not one to back down, Zhou Wanting sneered. "What are you even doing here?" she snapped. "And who's she?" Shen Yuan gave a faint smile. "What a coincidence. I'm just here to pick out a gift for my sister." The older man let out a mocking laugh. "Wow, shopping here for a gift. You really think you can afford anything here?" Zhou Wanting leaned in toward Fang Menhui, her tone laced with deliberate malice. "Miss, I don't know you, but here's a word of advice. Don't let yourself get fooled by guys like him." Shen Yuan's eyes turned icy. He pulled Fang Menhui behind him and snapped, "None of your business. Played. Who did I play? You. Did I play you?" The older man smirked, continuing his vicious taunts. "Shen Yuan, that's no way to talk to Wanting. A real man should have some class. Besides, Wanting is your ex. Everyone knows your family's bankrupt and buried in debt. No need to act like you're rich, no one's going to laugh at you." Shen Yuan didn't respond, but inwardly his disgust for the two of them reached its limit. A perfect match, utterly revolting. Just then, a system notification chimed in his mind. A perfect life should never be belittled by others. Immediately after, a new limited-time mission appeared. Mission: spend money on a female with a favorability score above 60 while triggering negative emotional reactions in others. Reward: for every 5 points of negative emotion caused, receive double the cashback. Note: this mission stacks with the regular cashback bonus for spending on females. A smirk crept onto Shen Yuan's face. He quickly checked Zhou Wanting and the older man's favorability scores, both deep in the negatives. I was going to let it go, didn't want to cause a scene. But since the system handed me a mission, there's no reason to hold back now. Without hesitation, Shen Yuan took Fang Menhui's hand and strode confidently into the store, already planning his next move. However, one of the store clerks, having heard about Shen Yuan's family bankruptcy, was visibly hesitant to serve him. Meanwhile, Zhou Wanting casually picked out a handbag and strolled over to the older man. "We can check out now." A sales associate quickly approached Zhou Wanting, eager to assist her. She turned to a colleague and said, "You handle Mr. Shen." But in her mind, she thought, of course, the VIP goes to you, and I get stuck with the guy who probably won't buy a thing. A short-haired saleswoman walked over, carrying a box. "Ms. Zhou, you have such impeccable taste. These accessories suit your elegance perfectly, unlike certain customers who clearly have none." She continued, "These accessories pair beautifully with the handbag you chose. Would you like to try them on? They're stunning, though a bit pricey. Altogether, it comes to nearly 100,000 yuan. Meanwhile, Shen Yuan and Fang Menhui were casually browsing through the store. Fang Menhui thought to herself that her sister might like one of these handbags. The sales associate assisting them glanced at Shen Yuan coldly and said flatly, "These two handbags total 50,000 yuan. Her tone made it obvious. She didn't believe he could afford them. Nearby, the older man glanced at Zhou Wanting, realizing her selections totaled 100,000 yuan. His blood boiled. 100,000 yuan? What a wasteful woman. I thought 20,000 a day would be enough, but she's burning through a full 100,000. Zhou Wanting impatiently urged her boyfriend to step up and act like a man, but deep down, he knew the truth. His bank account didn't even have 100,000 yuan in it. Just then, Shen Yuan turned to the sales associate and said, "Miss, I'll take these two handbags and the accessories that lady recommended." His words stunned everyone nearby. What, the sales associate thought. He's getting the accessories too. Does he even have the money for this? Despite her doubts, she grabbed the calculator, her fingers trembling as she entered the numbers. "Mr. Shen, the total for the handbags and accessories comes to 131,000 yuan. Shen Yuan's mind raced. Perfect. That's just the amount I needed to round out my cashback for today. Without hesitation, he pulled out his bank card ready to pay. The sales associate was still trying to process it. He didn't just buy two handbags, he got the accessories too. Over 130,000 yuan just like that. She never imagined Shen Yuan would turn out even more extravagant and more domineering than before. Zhou Wanting was livid. She stomped her foot in frustration and shouted, "Shen Yuan, didn't your family go bankrupt? Where did you get all this money? You didn't take out a loan, did you?" Shen Yuan smirked and replied casually, "Think whatever you like. You're not exactly broke yourself. Why not have your man buy you another handbag? Just a few thousand yuan, no big deal for him, right?" He continued mercilessly, his tone dripping with mockery. "A real gentleman isn't just charming, he should be generous too. That Audi A8 of yours must be worth at least 600,000, maybe 700,000 yuan. Are you seriously sweating over pocket change?" Zhou Wanting immediately grabbed her boyfriend's arm, whispering angrily, "Jun, step up and be a man. Don't let him show you up." But panic surged in Jun's chest. "Shit, my A8 was bought on credit. Ting Ting can't find out about this." Pretending to take a phone call, he quickly turned away, looking for an excuse to escape. Watching him flee, Zhou Wanting's expression turned cold. She threw one last glare at Shen Yuan and snapped, "Mind your own damn business." Then she spun on her heel and stormed off. As the two vanished, Shen Yuan noticed their favorability scores had dropped even further. Perfect. He'd successfully triggered their negative emotions, completing the system's mission. A wave of indifference washed over him. Whatever. No need to think about them anymore. As long as the mission's done, that's all that matters. Shen Yuan handed the newly purchased handbag to Fang Menhui. Startled, she quickly waved her hands, refusing. "It's too expensive, I can't accept this." Shen Yuan chuckled. "It's nothing, just a handbag. After watching you get mocked by those two for so long, I feel kind of bad. Please take it as an apology. Come on, just accept it." Then he handed her the second handbag along with the accessories. Fang Menhui was stunned. Wait, wasn't this the one he said was for his sister? Shen Yuan smiled faintly. "I'm not sure if my sister would like it, but I know you will." In reality, his thoughts were completely different. Are you kidding? If I gave this to Shen Xian, that little brat would chew me out for wasting money and then tattle to our parents. I always meant to buy these for you. Just take them, I need the cash back. Fang Menhui felt a little anxious, worried that Shen Yuan might think she was just after his money. But Shen Yuan simply smiled and reassured her. Relax, this is just the beginning. We've got a long way to go. Just take it. If you refuse, I'll be heartbroken. Suddenly, a system notification popped up. Time-limited mission complete. Negative emotion points. 15, triple cashback activated, female bonus spending unlocked. Total reward, 6x cashback, 786,000 yuan. Shen Yuan smirked to himself. Fang Menhui's my personal money tree now. Gotta keep her favorability high. Can't let the same mistake happen again. Although he was tempted to cash in right away, he knew better, some things couldn't be rushed. Patience was key. Letting things unfold naturally was the smarter move. So he decided to escort Fang Menhui straight back to campus. On the way, Fang Menhui sighed quietly to herself. He really is different from Li Jianpeng. He didn't even hint at going to a hotel. If he had, I honestly don't know how I would have responded. Back at the dorm, Shen Yuan saw Li Jianpeng surrounded by a crowd of guys, basking in their admiration. He was proudly bragging about how he had won over the campus beauty, the group treating him like a hero, celebrating a grand conquest. As Shen Yuan passed, Li Jianpeng deliberately raised his voice. We should organize a full class gathering soon, maybe a dinner. It'll be fun, everyone should come. Back in the dorm, his roommates were fuming. Did you hear that? That bastard Jianpeng can't wait to broadcast to the whole school that he went to the movies with the campus beauty. He's clearly throwing shade at our dorm, room 503. But Shen Yuan just smiled confidently. Relax, there's no way Fang Menhui would ever date Li Jianpeng. His roommates didn't buy it. One scoffed, oh, come on, quit bluffing, idiot. Fang Menhui literally went to the movies with Jianpeng last night. Who knows what else happened? Didn't she reject your date today? Face it, she's with him now. Ignoring their jabs, Shen Yuan casually checked his bank balance. It was loaded. Time to head home. The next day, Shen Yuan returned home, only to find his uncle already there. His father glanced at him and smiled. Go on inside and wait a bit. We adults need to talk. Standing outside, Shen Yuan overheard bits of the conversation. His uncle was here to collect a debt, and the full amount had to be repaid within 2 days. His mother, clearly irritated, snapped back. Shen Yaoda, how could you? When you didn't have the money to start your car wash, who lent you 300,000 yuan? And did we ever pressure you to pay it back? But now we lend you just 200,000 and you keep coming back to demand more. What is this supposed to mean? His father sighed helplessly, trying to calm things down. Let's not make a scene. He's got his own struggles. But his mother scoffed, her tone icy. Struggles? Does he not know what we're going through? I even asked his daughter-in-law. They're not having any money problems at all. Her so-called brother-in-law waved his hand dismissively. Paying back debt is just the natural order of things. You're lucky we're family. I'm being civil. If this were anyone else, you'd be dealing with real collectors already. His mother exploded. Debt collectors? Seriously, the Shen family really knows no gratitude. We treated him so well in the past. And now look at what he's turned into. Shen Yuan's father stepped in, trying to offer a solution. Why don't you sell some of your gold jewelry? We can buy it back later when we've got the money. At that moment, a system notification appeared in Shen Yuan's vision. System, a perfect life should not be burdened by debt. Limited time mission. Repay a debt for your family or yourself. Reward, first repayment of 200,000 unlocks an exclusive 1 million car purchase limit. Shen Yuan smirked. Perfect timing, system. Even without the mission, he would have helped. He didn't want his parents carrying this weight. Before long, his mother returned with a wooden box. She had clung to her gold jewelry for years. Now it might be worth tens of thousands. But as she sifted through the items, her face froze. 2 gold rings were missing. Shen Yuan froze, guilt washing over him. Back in freshman year, I took those rings. Used them to buy Joe wanting a handbag. He took a deep breath. Dad, Mom, I've struck it rich. Without another word, he stepped outside. His parents exchanged glances, thinking he was just being dramatic. With what little money you've got, you'd be better off reloading your meal card, his mother muttered skeptically. Shen Yuan didn't bother explaining. He quietly transferred 200,000 to his father's account. His father's eyes widened the moment he checked his phone. Son, where did you get all this money? Shen Yuan grinned. Remember all the allowance you used to give me? I pooled it with a friend and invested in Bitcoin. He told me to sit on it, said it had room to grow. I only cashed out a couple days ago. His mother was moved to tears. Son, you really saved us? His father nodded solemnly. I'll pay him back right now. Finally put this headache to rest. Once the transfer was done, his mother turned to the uncle, her voice like ice. The money's sent. Now get lost. And from now on, let's keep our families out of each other's business. The uncle stood frozen, clearly not expecting them to actually pay up. But Shen Yuan's mother had no patience left. Are you deaf? I said get out. Kicked out and humiliated, the uncle began to feel a sharp pang of regret. My cousin owed nearly 100 million yuan. He was always desperate for money. I figured I'd squeeze out whatever I could. But he just cleared the debt in one go? What, did they start a business? Are they about to get rich? After today, can we even stay in contact? Damn it, why did I even come here? System notification. Mission complete. Reward granted. 40,000 deposited into your account. Plus yen 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 additional reward unlocked. Current balance, yen 2, 186, 356. Aside from the funds earmarked for buying a car, Shen Yuan's net worth had now officially surpassed 1 million. Who would have thought? This trip home not only solved his parents' crisis, it had brought him a windfall. But even so, it was just a drop in the bucket compared to his family's total debt. Shen Yuan knew one thing for sure. Clearing his family's debt would take far more than this. The million was just a starting point. The smartest move now was to treat it as seed money, leverage it to grow even more. After doing the math, he figured he could afford to set aside up to 200,000 for his father. I've got another 200,000, he asked. Do you need it urgently? His mother paused, then shook her head. There's nothing urgent. Better to hold on to it for now. His father scratched his head awkwardly. Shen Yuan, just give me 50,000 for now. Shen Yuan chuckled. Sure, no problem. But deep down he sighed. Feels like the tables have turned, he thought. Just like when I used to ask him for money. Guess that habit runs in the family. Back at school, Shen Yuan bumped into Li Xiao in the stairwell. She mentioned she didn't have any afternoon classes, so she'd returned early. Shen Yuan smiled. You free tonight? I want to treat you to dinner. Last time was your treat, so now it's my turn. But then he caught a glimpse of Li Meng's icy stare. It hit him instantly. Li Meng, Li Zhao's little sister, his natural-born nemesis. No way I'm dealing with that right now. Feeling awkward, Shen Yuan quickly tried to recover. Actually, counselor, I just remembered. I've got something to handle back on campus. Might not be free tonight. Rain check. Anyway, I'll be heading out. As Shen Yuan hurried off, Li Meng immediately remarked, Something's definitely going on with him. Li Xiao sighed. It's probably just dinner, and even if he had other motives, I wouldn't agree to anything. The memory of his joyrides with Zhou, wanting suddenly resurfaced. The rush of the cool breeze, so carefree and relaxing, felt like a distant memory. Then it hit him he had a fund set aside for buying a car. If he didn't use it, it would be a waste of the system's generosity. With that thought, he quickly messaged Fang Menhui. Let's go car shopping this afternoon. Fang Menhui's roommate teased her immediately. Oh, car shopping together. You two are moving fast. Are you even coming back to the dorm tonight? Spill the details. Embarrassed, Fang Menhui quickly denied it. We're not together. Don't say things like that. Her roommate continued teasing. Our Menhui is so lucky, finding such a rich future husband. And he's even handsome. She's definitely going to milk him for all he's worth. With a playful grin, she suddenly hugged Fang Menhui from behind. Fang Menhui's face turned bright red as she shyly protested. An hour later, they arrived at a leading 4S car dealership. As soon as a salesperson approached, his eyes lit up, recognizing Fang Menhui immediately. Fang Menhui also recognized him right away. It was Qin Yang, a former upperclassman from high school who had once pursued her. Shen Yuan pointed to the nearby M9 and said, I'm interested in learning more about this model. Qin Yang smiled at Shen Yuan. The display car is over there. Feel free to check it out or even sit inside. But in his mind, he scoffed. The base model of the M9 starts at 500,000, Qin Yang thought, and the display version is easily worth yen 600,000. Look at him, dressed so casually. This guy is broke. What's the point of showing off like this at a 4S dealership? His gaze subconsciously drifted toward Fang Minhui. She was just as beautiful as he remembered. No wonder she had been his high school crush. But now, he wasn't the same guy earning only 3,000 yuan a month. He made over 10,000 yuan a month, drove a 200,000 yuan Accord, and worked as a sales rep at a premium dealership. Women are practical. Guys like him, successful and stable, are their first choice now. He took a step closer to Fang Minhui and spoke softly. "Are you free tonight? Let's catch up over dinner." Fang Minhui frowned slightly and immediately declined. "Thanks, but I have plans tonight." Just as Shen Yuan was about to get into the car, he spoke again. "Can I take it for a test drive?" Qin Yang's mood soured. "I was having a great conversation with Min Hui, and this guy just had to interrupt. He can't even afford the car, yet he wants to test drive it. Stop wasting my time." With a cold expression, Qin Yang flatly replied, "The test drive vehicle has already been taken by the boss." Shen Yuan smirked inwardly. "Do I look like a newbie? The moment I walked in, the M9 was right there. If you won't arrange a test drive, I'll just find someone else who will." Without saying another word, Shen Yuan turned to the front desk and asked, "Could you arrange for another salesperson?" "I'd like to test drive the car." Shen Yuan walked over with a warm smile. "Hello, I'm Chen Na, a sales consultant here. How can I assist you today?" Just then another sales consultant approached Qin Yang looking puzzled. "Qin Yang, is that your client? Why did you let Chen Na take over?" Qin Yang sneered. "I couldn't be bothered. Let Chen Na waste her time. Some broke student says he wants to buy an M9 and even test drive it. Do you think that's possible?" The other consultant raised an eyebrow. "But what if he actually buys it?" Qin Yang scoffed. "Buy it for what? Some poor kid showing off in front of a girl. I've seen plenty of guys like him." Qin Yang sat in the passenger seat, patiently explaining the various features and benefits of the car to Shen Yuan. However, Shen Yuan found his thoughts drifting toward Chen Na. Her professionalism was impressive, and her figure was just as attractive as Fang Minhui's. He couldn't help but think, isn't it common in the auto industry these days? Haven't there been countless news reports about female sales reps going the extra mile to close deals? Chen Na smiled and asked, "Sir, may I ask what your budget is?" Shen Yuan responded calmly, "Do you have one in stock? I want to drive it home today." Chen Na was visibly surprised. Most customers hesitate, inspect the car multiple times, and haggle before making a decision. But this guy, one test drive and he's ready to place an order. He hasn't even asked about the price. Isn't this a bit too hasty? And if he's serious about buying, why did Qin Yang just let him go? She quickly checked the inventory and told Shen Yuan, "We don't have any in stock at the moment, but we can arrange one within a week." Shen Yuan, however, was direct. "I want to place the order today." Chen Na's thoughts raced. The out-the-door price is over 600,000 yuan. He just said he's buying it outright. Is this what they call a dream customer? Or does he have some ulterior motive? Nonetheless, she maintained her professionalism. "Please hold on while I prepare the contract. The deposit is 50,000 yuan. Qin Yang, still in disbelief, stared at Chen Na and asked, "Chen Na, what's the deal with that guy?" Zina sat down at her desk and replied flatly, "He bought it." Xinyang still refused to believe it and let out a mocking laugh. "That guy is just pretending to be rich. When it's time to pay, he'll come up with an excuse and disappear. We've had plenty of guys like him in this store." Another consultant chimed in. "In all my years here, I've never seen a customer this carefree about making a purchase." Zina remained expressionless. "Mr. Shen didn't just buy it. He's paying in full." That statement left both men speechless. Their faces stiffened in disbelief. "Damn, we really screwed up. We just let a big sale walk right past us." After signing the contract, Chen Na smiled politely and asked, "Mr. Shen, if you have any questions in the future, feel free to contact us. Do you need a ride anywhere?" Before Shen Yuan could respond, Fang Minhui quickly pulled him aside and declined for him. "No need, we'll take a taxi." Chen Na suddenly felt a bit awkward. She realized she might have been a little too accommodating toward Shen Yuan, which had clearly annoyed Fang Minhui. Shen Yuan glanced at Fang Minhui. "Oh, she's jealous." He smirked and said, "Minhui, let's go get some dinner." Fang Minhui responded flatly. "Oh," Shen Yuan chuckled and explained, "she's just a salesperson and I'm just a customer." "That's all?" Fang Minhui wasn't entirely convinced. "I saw how happy you were chatting with her and you spent quite a while scrolling through her social media." Shen Yuan waved his hand dismissively. It's just a habit. Every time I have a new friend, I can't help but check out their profile. A sudden, unfamiliar feeling surged through Fang Minhui's chest. Jealousy. She realized she was actually bothered by Shen Yuan interacting with another girl. But why? We're not even in a relationship. So why am I feeling this way? Looking at how freely he spent money, she understood Shen Yuan would naturally attract other women. She needed to find a way to keep him by her side. Sensing the shift in atmosphere, Shen Yuan quickly changed the subject. Let's eat first. After dinner, we'll head to IFC to pick out your gift. Fang Minhui hesitated. He's always the one paying. I don't want to seem too materialistic. But Shen Yuan simply laughed. It's normal for a girl to have multiple handbags, 7 days in a week. 7 different bags, one for each day. In truth, his thoughts were much simpler. Spending money on women not only makes them happy, but also gives him triple cash back. The more he buys, the more he earns. It's the smartest investment he could make. A few minutes later at the restaurant, Shen Yuan deliberately asked, Minhui, do you want a cold drink or a hot one? Fang Minhui immediately caught his implication. Her face turned red as she shyly replied, cold drink. Shen Yuan suddenly felt a bit awkward. He realized it's been 2 months since I was last with Zhou Wanning. Honestly, I really need to spend some money. 3 hours later, the night had fallen. At the mall, Shen Yuan and Fang Minhui had picked out various luxury items, bracelets, handbags, and watches, spending over 80,000 yuan in total. Yet his bank balance still stood at 2.25 million yuan. As they stepped out of the mall, Shen Yuan suddenly turned to her and said, Minhui, let's not go back to the dorm tonight, okay? Hearing this, Fang Minhui's face flushed like a ripe apple. After a moment of hesitation, she shyly nodded. 30 minutes later, in room 808 of the Grand Lux Hotel, Shen Yuan was in the shower. Meanwhile, Fang Minhui sat on the bed, clutching her phone tightly, debating how to reply to her best friend's messages. Her friend had asked why she hadn't returned to the dorm yet. She made up an excuse. Something came up. I'll be out for a while. But in reality, her thoughts were much simpler. Sorry, Ling Ling. Shen Yuan has given me so much. It's hard to say no. Half an hour later, Fang Minhui thought to herself, Shen Ling was right. This wasn't nearly as scary as I imagined. Shen Yuan hadn't expected Fang Minhui to be so. It felt amazing, but damn, he was exhausted. Looks like I really need to work out more. Before Shen Yuan could even rest, Fang Minhui leaned in again, taking the initiative. Seeing this, Shen Yuan suddenly panicked. Damn, this is getting out of hand. The next day, Shen Yuan returned to his dorm, feeling completely refreshed. He figured the system's missions wouldn't just help him clear his debts. They'd also keep giving him cashback rewards. Right now, he owed a total of 52,000 yuan across multiple loan apps and credit cards. Paying that off would be his first step. Then there was the 100,000 yuan he still owed Liu Yuheng. Back when his family went bankrupt, most of his so-called friends had disappeared. I wouldn't be surprised if the counselor helped him arrange everything. What a show-off. If you're not going, though, your 200 yuan class fee will go to waste. Shen Yuan replied indifferently, not going. At that moment, his phone buzzed with a message from Liu Heng. Long time no see. Come grab dinner and hit the bar tonight. Let's chill. Meanwhile, the system issued a new mission. Host has been granted a 1 million yuan exclusive investment fund. The full amount must be invested within a week. Mission reward: any revenue generated from business activities will be returned at double the amount. Shen Yuan's heart skipped a beat. A business-focused mission? This is exactly what I need. I have a lot of money sitting around. I need to find a good investment. Li Yuheng's bar is still under renovation. Maybe I should invest some money and test the waters. Without hesitation, he replied to Li Yuheng, I'm on my way inside the Changlong private dining room at Nanjing restaurant. Lin Guangyao impatiently complained. Li, who are we waiting for? I'm starving, 2 others chimed in. Yeah, aren't all the important people already here? Li Yuheng responded casually. Relax. If you're hungry, order some appetizers. Shen Yuan's almost here. Lin Guangyao frowned. Shen Yuan, wasn't he bankrupt? Why is he still hanging out with us? Liu Heng's expression darkened slightly. I'm the one treating tonight, not you. If you don't like it, feel free to leave. Shen Yuan and I have been childhood friends for years. This is different. Soon the door to the private dining room swung open, and Shen Yuan stepped inside. He explained, I took a taxi, but the driver went the long way. Probably traffic. Lin Guangyao smirked and sneered. A taxi? look at us, who here didn't drive their luxury car. You taking a taxi isn't the problem. The real question is, do you already have a personal driver? Before Shen Yuan could respond, the door opened again. This time it was Chen Na. Zia Heiji immediately stood up with a grin. Guys, this is my girlfriend, Chen Na. She's even better than a regular 4S dealership sales rep. If any of you need to buy a car, talk to her. Shen Na's eyes landed on Shen Yuan instantly. She recognized him right away. However, noticing that he didn't greet her first, she decided to play along, pretending they were meeting for the first time. 40 minutes later, Liu Yuheng set down his chopsticks, stood up and said, "Now that we've all had our fill, let me say a few words. I've been working on setting up a lounge bar and I want to do it right. Everyone here is a close friend of mine, so I'm giving you all a chance. Who's interested in investing and making some money together?" He paused for a moment before continuing. "The estimated startup cost is $2.4 million. I'm willing to give up 30% equity, roughly a 700,000 yuan investment. What do you guys think?" The room fell silent. Lin Guangyao thought to himself, the Li family makes millions in profit every year. Why would he need others to invest just for a mere 700,000 yuan? His dad must have stopped funding him after his previous failed investments. Zia Heiji calculated in his head, 700,000. I need 2 years just to save that up. Meanwhile, Zhao Zhonggeng frowned. We came here just to eat and drink. Why are we suddenly talking about investments? Liu Yuheng usually isn't this direct about money. The rest of the group kept their heads down, deep in thought. Whoever speaks first is the fool. Best to just stay quiet. Seeing no one respond, frustration flared in Liu Yuheng's heart. These guys have no problem eating and drinking on my dime. They ask me for favors, borrow money without hesitation, but when I need their support, they all go dead silent. Xin Yuan is broke, so I get it. But the rest of them? Feeling disappointed, he spoke coldly. What's wrong, cat got your tongues? At least say something. Lin Guangyao finally spoke up. Li, I think it's too early for investments right now. If it's just a cash flow issue, we could all chip in a few grand to get things running. You could just pay us back later once the business makes a profit. See, I'm not hiding anything in an agreement. Exactly. Jumping in as investors wouldn't be fair to you. This way, you won't feel like you're losing out if you make money later. Right, guys. Although the others remained silent, they all had the same thought. Liu Yuheng's track record in business is a disaster. His hot pot restaurant and KTV flopped spectacularly. And now he's opening a lounge bar. Might as well just throw money into the ocean. We all still rely on our families. Our allowances barely cover our expenses. Li Yuheng clenched his jaw. I was offering a legitimate investment opportunity, a way to make real money together. But now they're treating it like I'm begging for a loan. And Lin Guangyao, he twisted my words on purpose. His expression darkened as he put down his drink. Forget it. If no one's interested, let's just drop it. Lin Guangyao laughed. That's the right attitude, Li. Investments and partnerships? Way too complicated. Let's just eat, drink, and have fun. Shen Yuan watched silently, thinking to himself, I saw through these guys when my family went bankrupt. Why haven't you, Liu Yuheng? They're just a bunch of spoiled, rich kids living off their families. What makes you think they'd ever support you? Just as Liu Yuheng was about to leave, Shen Yuan suddenly spoke. I'll invest the 700,000. The room went dead silent. Liu Yuheng stopped mid-step and turned around, looking at Shen Yuan with surprise. Lin Guangyao couldn't help but burst into laughter. That's gotta be a joke, right? Come on, we all know each other. Zhao Zhonggeng patted Shen Yuan's shoulder and chuckled. Maybe go splash some water on your face. Li's not in the mood for jokes right now. Zia Heiji smirked and added, Kid, I'm a few years older than you and I've seen a lot. This isn't about knowing your limits. It's about knowing when to shut up. Lin Guangyao piled on with a mocking grin. Yeah, Shen Yuan, do you even remember how you got here? Need me to reimburse you for that taxi ride? Shen Na thought, Mr. Shen is investing in a 30% stake. Why does everyone think he's bluffing? Just yesterday, he bought a 600,000 yuan car in full. With that kind of financial power, investing 700,000 yuan isn't surprising at all. She wanted to say something in Shen Yuan's defense, but hesitated. I'm an outsider. If I jump in now, will it just cause unnecessary trouble? What should I do? But Shen Yuan ignored the mocking laughter and said directly to Li Yuheng, the 700,000 has been transferred. Check your phone. A notification dinged on Li Yuheng's phone as he opened it, and sure enough, there it was. A transfer of 700,000 yuan. Without a word, he turned his screen to show Lin Guangyao. Lin Guangyao froze, staring at the numbers, carefully counting each digit. It really was 700,000. Shen Ne, still debating whether to speak up, suddenly noticed the entire atmosphere in the room had shifted. Lin Guangyao's expression soured. He muttered under his breath. Something came up at home. I have to go. Zia Heiji was caught off guard. What? You're leaving? Irritated, Lin Guangyao snapped. Don't ask. Just go. Your uncle and aunt are looking for you. Zia Heiji was even more confused. Why have my parents never called me? What family emergency is he talking about? Lin Guangyao shot him an annoyed glare. Useless cousin, no sense of timing. His thoughts then shifted to Shen Yuan. If he's so rich, why the hell did he take a taxi? What a damn show-off. And now he's stolen all the attention tonight. One by one, the others in the room gathered around to look at Li Yuhang's transaction history. After seeing it for themselves, they quickly made up excuses and left. Within moments, 3 more people had exited the room. Still baffled, Zia Heiji turned to Chen Ne, who whispered to him, They're leaving. You should too. Once outside, Zia Heiji asked, How do you know what they just saw? Chen Ne replied casually, Yesterday, Shen Yuan bought an M9 from me, paid in full. Zia Heiji immediately grabbed her arm. Wait, seriously? Chen Ne nodded. Of course. I still have the purchase contract on my phone. Zia Heiji's tone turned serious. Nunna, come on, why didn't you tell me earlier? You meet a guy this rich and you don't give me a heads up. That's just not cool. Next time you gotta let me know. She yanked her hand away and shot him a cold glare. Next time I'll say hi to you. I just realized what kind of person you are today. I must have been blind to think you were worth my time. From now on, don't contact me again. Back inside, only Shen Yuan and Li Yuhang remained. Li Yuhang sighed and grumbled. If I had known you were this rich, I wouldn't have wasted money on dinner tonight. Shen Yuan smirked. Well, now you know. None of those guys are reliable. They're fine for partying, but when it comes to real business, they'll never step up. After a brief pause, Shen Yuan leaned forward. Tell me about your lounge bar plan. I may only be a small shareholder, but I want to be involved in the planning. For the next half hour, Shen Yuan and Li Yuhang delved deep into discussions about renovation styles and business strategies. Li Yuhang couldn't help but be impressed. Shen Yuan's university education clearly hadn't gone to waste. Watching how smoothly he navigated commercial concepts with effortless confidence was truly eye-opening. But Shen Yuan brushed it off casually. It's just a bit of business intuition. But you know me, I don't have the time to oversee the shop every day. Not long after, Shen Yuan received a message from Chen Ne, confirming that he could visit the 4S dealership on Friday to finalize payment and pick up his car. He immediately replied, Are you free tomorrow night? I have a few questions about the car that I'd like to ask you in person. Staring at her phone screen, Chen Ne frowned slightly. What is Shen Yuan really up to? Meanwhile, Shen Yuan's mind was racing through various calculations. Fang Minhui is a steady money source, but there's a limit to how much cash back she can generate. I need to find ways to expand my revenue. After all, I have to maximize the system's benefits. And then there, Chen Ne's stunning looks, an incredible figure. A top-tier beauty like her is worth spending money on. How could I possibly pass this up? The next day, Chen Ne arrived at the designated restaurant right on time for her meeting with Shen Yuan. At that moment, the general manager of the S dealership, Zheng Xiniang, entered the restaurant. His sharp eyes immediately caught sight of Chen Ne sitting in the corner. A smirk crept across his face. Well, what a pleasant surprise. She's here in uniform. I never get a chance to talk to her properly at the dealership, but today is my chance. He subtly signaled to the 2 men behind him, and they quickly got the message, excusing themselves and leaving. As they walked out, they whispered among themselves, You think the boss will score with Chen Ne? Their conversation didn't go unnoticed. Nearby, Zia Heiji overheard them. A scowl formed on his face, anger bubbling beneath the surface. Meanwhile, Zheng Xiniang, brimming with confidence, strutted over to Chen Ne with a teasing grin. Well, what a coincidence, Chen Ne. Didn't expect to see you here. Dining alone. Mind if I join you? Chen Ne remained composed, responding coolly. Sorry, I already have plans with someone. But Zheng Xiniang wasn't deterred. He chuckled, dismissing her words as if they meant nothing. Come on, Chen Ne, I'm your boss. Having a meal with a friend is no big deal. Why not sit with me instead? Chen Ne finally lifted her head, her gaze turning icy. Please keep your distance, Mr. Zhang. You have a family. This kind of behavior is inappropriate. But Zhang Ziniang merely smirked, completely unfazed. Without hesitation, he dropped himself into the seat next to her and squinted playfully. You mind that I have a family? That's easy. I can just get a divorce. Meanwhile, Zia Heiji, having finally tracked Chen Na down, was seething with rage. She dumped me for this sleazeball? Why? I make 400 to 500K a year. I drive a car worth over 300,000 yuan, and yet she thinks I'm not good enough compared to this fat pig. Consumed by fury, Zia Heiji stormed over and roared. You two disgusting cheaters sneaking around behind my back. Do you think I'm easy to fool? Both Zheng Ziniang and Chen Na were caught off guard, stunned by the sudden accusation. Frowning, Zheng Ziniang asked, Who the hell are you? But Zia Heiji had lost all patience. With a shout, he swung his fist straight at Zheng Ziniang. Chaos erupted instantly, as the two men were thrown into a full-blown brawl. Just then, Shen Yuan stepped into the restaurant. Watching the absurd scene unfold before him, he couldn't help but smirk. Well, now this is breaking news, and I just so happen to be the lucky witness to the drama. Caught in the middle of this chaotic brawl, Shen Yuan thought to himself, if it weren't for that fat idiot taking the hit for me, I'd be the one lying on the ground right now. Without hesitation, he grabbed Chen Na's hand and spoke firmly. Ms. Chen, let's go. Don't waste your time with these people. We have better things to do. Inside the car, a silence settled between them. Then in a low voice, Chen Na admitted, Actually, I already broke up with Zia Heiji. Shen Yuan nodded slightly. Good. Better to see his true colors sooner rather than later. It's over now, nothing to worry about. But Chen Na still looked troubled. It's not over. The one who got punched, Zheng Ziniang, is my boss. Now that he's taken a hit for nothing, who knows how he'll retaliate against me? Shen Yuan raised an eyebrow and responded calmly. Then quit. Get out of that place before it drags you into more trouble. Chen Na sighed and shook her head. It's not that easy to find a new job. Switching dealerships means starting from scratch, and all the clients and experience I've built up over the years will be wasted. She let out a soft sigh, her voice tinged with exhaustion. Honestly, I've been in sales for so long it's exhausting. I'd love to switch industries, open a small cafe, work when I feel like it, close when I don't. That kind of freedom sounds amazing. But a decent cafe costs at least 300,000 to 400,000 yuan. And my current savings rate, who knows how long it'll take. Shen Yuan's mind lit up. After setting aside 700,000 for Liu Heng's bar, I still have 300,000 left in my exclusive investment fund. His eyes sparkled as he turned to Chen Na. You want to open a cafe? If you don't have enough money, that's fine. But what if someone was willing to invest in you? Chen Na chuckled and playfully patted Shen Yuan's shoulder, clearly thinking he was joking. If I actually had an investor, I'd quit my job tomorrow and work for him. No hesitation, but Xinyuan's expression remained serious. He looked straight at her and said, All right, then quit your job tomorrow. I'll invest 300,000 to open your cafe, and once it's up and running, you work for me. Xinyuan froze for a moment, a flicker of hesitation crossing his eyes. Is he serious? Meanwhile, Shen Yuan was secretly amused. Just moments ago, I was wondering how to increase her favorability, and now it's shooting up on its own. I can practically see another money tree taking root. Still stunned, Chen Na blinked and asked, You're joking, right? Xinyuan smiled slightly and responded without hesitation. I'm dead serious. What, don't want to work for me? He added casually. Once the cafe opens, I'll pay you 12,000 yuan a month plus profit shares. And if you stick around for 3 months, I'll buy you a 200,000 yuan car. Your current ride could use an upgrade. Chen Na's eyes widened slightly in surprise. No sales pressure, just 3 months of work and I get a car. If I do the math, my annual income would be over 300,000 yuan. But then a new thought crept into her mind. Wait, is he trying to keep me as his mistress? Her mind whirled with conflicting emotions. The offer was tempting, incredibly so, but she also understood that nothing in life came free. The moment she accepted, she'd be bound by invisible chains. She refused to be someone's caged bird, especially not as the other woman. Taking a deep breath, she looked him in the eye and said firmly, You shouldn't be doing this for me. Shen Yuan immediately picked up on her concerns and clarified, Don't overthink it. I'm opening a coffee chain. This first one is just a pilot store. If you're interested, you'd just be my employee. Nothing else. Chen Na let out a quiet breath of relief, but still remained cautious. Oh, I see. Let me think about it. Just as things settled between them, Shen Yuan's phone buzzed. A message from Fang Menhui popped up. Are you free for a cold drink? Shen Yuan glanced at his screen and smirked. Her appetite is insatiable. After parting ways with Chen Na, Shen Yuan drove straight to the Grand Lux Hotel. As he stepped into room 808, his mind was still buzzing with plans. The moment Shen Yuan stepped into the room, Fang Minhui threw herself at him from behind, wrapping her arms tightly around his waist, as if afraid he'd disappear the moment she let go. But in the next second, she wrinkled her nose. An unfamiliar scent lingered on Shen Yuan's body. Perfume. Shen Yuan inhaled slightly, his heart tightening. Damn, could be from Xinyu's car. That perfume of hers is ridiculously strong. It's possible it rubbed off on me. A flicker of suspicion flashed through Fang Minhui's eyes. She suddenly shoved him away, her voice rising in anger. Tell me the truth. Did you go see another woman behind my back? Shen Yuan immediately pulled her back into his arms, his tone urgent. Of course not. You're the only one for me. I was at the 4S dealership today handling car paperwork. It must have come from one of the saleswomen there. You know how overly friendly those saleswomen can be. Fang Minhui narrowed her eyes, her anger slightly easing. Fine, I'll believe you for now. But if something like this happens again, I expect you to tell me first. And those female salespeople, stay away from them, got it? Shen Yuan nodded quickly but internally scoffed. This isn't about being unfaithful. This is about the system's missions. I need to spend money on different women to maximize cashback. How could I tie myself down to just one? Fang Minhui sighed and said she was going to take a shower. But before she could move, Shen Yuan caught her wrist and pulled her close. He whispered, no need to shower. I like the way you smell just like this. Fang Minhui chuckled softly, leaning in to whisper in his ear. Then we're the same. Shen Yuan, I love you too. A spark of excitement shot through Shen Yuan. Damn, isn't that supposed to be my line? Minhui, you're really setting me on fire here, she murmured against his ear. Shen Yuan, I like you so much. 2 hours later, Fang Minhui was still glowing with satisfaction, while Shen Yuan let out a helpless sigh. Her stamina is insane. She's even needier than Zhou wanting. She gets all the pleasure while I'm left completely drained. He smirked bitterly to himself. Why is it that this activity boosts her favorability so damn fast? Last time, after one night, it pushed to 86. Tonight, after just 2 rounds, she's already at 90. Suddenly, a system notification popped up, snapping him out of his thoughts. Host has successfully reached a favorability score of 90 plus with an individual. Phase 1 favorability mission complete. Rewards issued. 1 million yuan lottery ticket, 1 million yuan shopping voucher, and 1 unyielding exibility card. Shen Yuan's eyes widened. 1 million yuan lottery ticket? This means even more cash flow. With this, I might be able to clear my family's debts completely. More importantly, this is my chance to make major moves. But then he froze. Wait, unyielding exibility, what kind of reward is this? Excitement flickered in his eyes. Holy shit, does this mean I'm about to level up? Sorry, Minhui, looks like the tables are about to turn. You won't be the one in control anymore. I will. Without hesitation, Shen Yuan tapped the activation button for the unyielding exibility card. As soon as the ability was activated, a surge of raw energy flooded through his body, especially in a particular region. An unprecedented strength coursed through his veins, making him laugh out loud. Damn, this reward is insane. Looks like the system truly understands me. It always gives me exactly what I need. Thinking about how he had just broken the 90 favorability threshold, Shen Yuan frowned slightly. Li Zhao's favorability is already over 60, but if I want to develop things to the same level as with Minhui, it's going to be a long journey. Then there was Chen Na, the black-stockinged, long-legged beauty. Her favorability had also crossed 60, which meant she'd need careful investment over time. He couldn't help but wonder, who would be the next woman to break the 90 mark? And more importantly, what kind of reward would the system grant for it? But that was a problem for later. Right now, what mattered most was testing out that unyielding exibility card and seeing exactly what kind of change it would bring. However, Fang Minhui remained oblivious to Shen Yuan's internal calculations. She saw him approaching again and asked, puzzled, "Weren't you going to take a shower? Why are you back?" Shen Yuan smirked, took her hand firmly, and gazed at her with unwavering confidence. Changed my mind, decided not to. A hint of confusion flickered across Fang Minhui's face. Tilting her head slightly, she muttered, "Huh, Xin Yuan, you feel kind of different from before. Meanwhile, across town, inside Xin Na's apartment, her roommate Xian sat on the couch, her eyes gleaming with excitement. Nah, there's this guy who told me he'd invest 300,000 yuan to help me open a store. And after 3 months, he'd even buy me a 200,000 yuan car. Do you think he's trying to keep me as a sugar baby? But he already has a girlfriend. With a teasing smile, she asked if she'd accidentally bumped into a scammer. Chen Na shook her head, her conviction clear. She shrugged it off, explaining she'd met him before. He even bought a car from her. He's legit, Chen Na added. Chan Qin raised an eyebrow. How old is he? Your usual clients are a bit older, right? Hold up, he's 21 and driving a luxury car. Chen Na's face flushed a little as she responded. He's pretty good-looking. Rich, young, good-looking. What's not to like? Chan Qin was surprised. So what if he's a few years younger? Chin Na shrugged. Age doesn't matter. I was a senior when he was a freshman, no big deal. He's probably sitting on a gold mine, who knows? A hint of doubt crossed Chen Na's face. Yeah, but he's already got a girlfriend, she muttered. Xian scoffed. A girlfriend isn't a wife. Who cares? If you play it right, you could make him yours. Chen Na blinked, caught off guard. What are you talking about? She asked, confused. Xian smirked. If you're that unsure, just let me have him. I'll deal with the fallout. Shen Na laughed. Aren't you already taken? Chan Qin rolled her eyes. If a real sugar daddy showed up, I'd be single in a second. Gotta run, my boyfriend's home. Catch you later. 40 minutes later, back at the hotel, Shen Yuan eyed Fang Minhui with amusement. He grinned, asking if she thought things felt different this time. Stronger, maybe? She laughed softly, still catching her breath. That was incredible, she whispered. 40 minutes in, and they were already ready for round 2. She couldn't believe it was even possible. Shen Yuan leaned closer, his voice dropping to a whisper. Did you enjoy that? He asked, his tone playful. Let's go for round 2, he grinned. Fang Minhui's eyes popped. You're still up for it. Shen Yuan raised an eyebrow, teasing. Minhui, didn't you take dance lessons? Thought you knew how to move. How about you take the lead this time? He suggested, a smirk on his face. Fang Minhui frowned. You want me on top, but I don't know how. Shen Yuan chuckled, a mischievous glint lighting up his eyes. You do? Well, guess you'll have to learn. Isn't experience all about practice? He teased. Fang Minhui sighed, her lips curling into a helpless smile. You're such a bad guy, she muttered with a smile. The next morning, Fang Minhui headed back to school. Shen Yuan, free of early classes, enjoyed a rare, lazy sleep-in. Suddenly an idea struck him. Wait, the cashback lottery. He grabbed his phone, ready to check. Scanning the screen, his eyes grew wide. 6 red numbers, 3, 4, 14, 22, 26, 27. Then the final blue number, 1. A full match, holy crap, 6.8 million. His heart raced. He couldn't believe it. 6 million in the jackpot. A fortune out of nowhere. He had to tell his parents. His family had been struggling since the bankruptcy, and this was the break they desperately needed. Bursting through the door, Shen Yuan rushed home. Mom, I'm home, he called out. His mother's voice came from the other room. Yeah, you're back. No need to shout. Have some manners. Shen Yuan barely heard her, too excited. Where's Dad? Get him out here. I've got huge news. His dad, hearing the noise, called out. What's so urgent? Can't it wait until I get back? You didn't get into trouble again, did you? No, this is good news. Just come here. You both need to be ready for this, Shen Yuan urged. Shen Yuan took a deep breath, a grin spreading across his face. We're rich. I won 6.8 million, he blurted out. His mother froze, eyes wide in disbelief. Son, have you been under too much stress lately? You need to focus on your studies, not these silly dreams. We'll handle the family debts. Don't get caught up in these silly dreams. You don't need to worry about that, Shen Yuan reassured her. Waving his phone in front of them, Shen Yuan's voice grew urgent. No, Mom, look. It's real. I actually won. His father leaned in to take a look, his eyes widening in shock. Honey, it's true, he said, astonished. He really won. His mother's doubt melted into sheer astonishment. Wait, you're telling me this is real? 6.8 million, she asked, barely believing it. Shen Yuan nodded eagerly, excitement bubbling over. Even after the 20% tax, I'll still get over 5 million. We can pay off the debts and live comfortably again. Overcome with joy, his mother clapped her hands. Oh, my dear boy, today is your lucky day. Forget cooking. We're going out for a big feast to celebrate, she exclaimed. As the excitement started to settle, a thought crossed Shen Yuan's mind. His expression changed slightly. "By the way, I'm in my third year now," Shen Yuan said. "Graduation isn't far off, and I've been thinking. I want to start my own business, get some real-world experience." His father furrowed his brows, pausing to choose his words carefully. After a moment, his tone softened. "Business isn't easy these days, but I like that you're thinking ahead. You're young, and you should take risks and learn. The prize money is yours. How you use it is up to you, but my advice is to keep some aside. Life is unpredictable. It's always good to have a safety net." Shen Yuan smiled, determination shining in his eyes. "Dad, Mom, I'll only take 1 million for my business plans. The rest, you guys keep it. Do whatever you need with it." His parents exchanged glances and nodded with approval. A warm smile spread across his father's face. "All right, son. If that's your decision, we support you." Inside the 4S dealership manager's office, the tension was palpable. The manager glared at Chun-Na, sneering. "Chun-Na, I assume you know why I called you in today. Take a good look. This is your man's handiwork." Shanna remained expressionless, her tone flat. "Sir, I broke up with him a long time ago. We have nothing to do with each other. If you've got a problem, take it up with him. It has nothing to do with me." The manager's face darkened, his voice laced with menace. "Oh, really? That's not how this works. Debts have owners, grievances have culprits. If it weren't for you, why the hell would I have gotten punched for no reason? You claim it's not your problem. Then tell me who's going to fix the mess I'm in now." His words carried a veiled threat. He had already made up his mind to use this as an opportunity to break her. But Chinel wasn't having it. She shot back without hesitation. "What happened was between you and him. How is that my responsibility? Besides, when I sat down yesterday, I told you I was waiting for someone. You were the one who insisted on butting in. How's that my fault?" The manager's face turned even more sinister, his voice cold. "Oh, still acting tough? Well then, let's talk about something else. You left your post yesterday, which meant customers weren't attended to in the showroom. As a result, I've decided to penalize you. Effective immediately, you're suspended for the rest of the month. No customer commissions, no exceptions. When you figure things out, come find me." She clenched her fists, seething. "On what grounds? I submitted a leave request. You have no right to suspend me for this." The manager burst into laughter, mockery in his tone. "Oh, China, on what grounds? You really asking me that? Is this your first job or something? I'm the goddamn general manager here. I decide everything that happens in this place." Suspension meant she'd lose all her sales commissions. Her base salary was only 1,200 yuan, a joke of a paycheck that wouldn't even cover her rent. Chenna wavered for a moment but quickly steeled herself. She lifted her chin and sneered. "What? Being a dealership manager makes you feel like a king? It's just a job. If I don't like it, I can walk away any time." A glint of cold amusement flashed in the manager's eyes. "Oh, Chenna, don't be so hasty. Think it over carefully before making any rash decisions." Zena hesitated for a moment before turning to leave, but deep down, doubt crept in. Shen Yuan may be young, but he handled things with a level of composure and confidence that was rare. Perhaps working for him wasn't such a bad idea. She bit her lip and muttered to herself, "No more thinking about it. I've already decided. I'm done here." 30 minutes later, she texted Shen Yuan. "Shen Yuan, I've decided to quit. What you said yesterday, does it still stand?" Shen Yuan's reply popped up fast, offering congratulations for escaping the hellhole and a sunny new path ahead. He suggested scouting cafe locations, promising if they found the right one, they'd buy it. Shen Yuan grinned, feeling satisfied. No more hunting for investment projects. His 300,000 yuan from a mission was going straight into the cafe idea. Fresh and ready, Shen Yuan made his way to campus and knocked on the faculty office door. Professor Li looked up, a bit flustered. Professor Li, in a pinch, asked for help moving offices. Too much stuff for one person. She'd planned to ask the class president, but she had taken the day off. Shen Yuan smiled and waved it off. No class today, he was all in. He asked which things needed moving. Professor Li nodded gratefully. Books and materials were fine, but the desk and filing cabinet were too much. She quickly suggested starting with the books so they wouldn't fall during the move. Shen Yuan saw his chance and flashed a smile. He offered to help. Without hesitation, he leaned in. The close proximity made Professor Li blush, her heart racing like it might burst through her chest. This time they were even closer. She could feel the warmth of his breath, making things feel a little different. A thought popped into Professor Li's mind, tightening her chest. Wait, does Shen Yuan? Like me. Flushing, she looked down and asked softly if they were done. Shen Yuan casually confirmed it was all set. Just then, two students barged in, announcing they were there to help. One student blinked, noticing the professor's red face. Something seemed off. Shen Yuan quickly redirected them, urging them to grab the filing cabinet and move it next door. The students entered just in time, avoiding a full-blown awkward moment. Shen Yuan was definitely getting bolder. It was one thing at home, but now, even in the office. For a moment, Lijiao felt a strange, almost exciting rush. She quickly shook it off. He's her student, this was ridiculous. Why was she even thinking like this? Hold up, her favorability just shot up to 71%. Could that tiny moment have done that? Shen Yuan was surprised by the change. He thought to himself, I didn't even do much. But wow, Professor Li really has a figure. A regular girl wouldn't even come close. With favorability rising, maybe he should stop by more often and build some rapport. On Saturday, 800 meters south of the school gates, in a cafe, Li Jimpeng leaned back, sizing up the two girls across from him before speaking. He casually mentioned hearing they bought a car outright. 28 grand, no big deal. He threw in a quick, impressed compliment. Junior year and already driving a BBA. You're ahead of 99.99% of your classmates, he said, clearly impressed. Meanwhile, in his head, Li Jimpeng was cursing. Seriously, Fang Minhui rejected me. She doesn't know what she's missing. With my wealth and status, girls should be lining up, he thought, full of himself. But out loud, he flashed them a charming smile and casually added, Of course, some people don't even care about driving a BBA. The girls were surprised. One asked, no way, seriously, who wouldn't want a BBA? What's his deal? Are you telling me people could afford one in just a few years and still not think it's good enough? Before Li Jimping could respond, his attention was drawn outside the window. His eyes widened, nearly spilling his coffee. Holy crap, that girl's legs just keep going. Who even has the connections to have someone like that by their side? His voice mixed awe and jealousy as he pointed outside. Look at that. Is that car driving itself? That's crazy. What kind of car is that? Li Jianpeng's eyes were glued to the top-tier M9 outside. One girl gasped, Isn't that Xinyuan? Li Jianpeng's heart skipped a beat. Wait, why's he driving that car? Wasn't his family bankrupt? When Shen Yuan entered, Chen Na greeted him with a friendly smile. Li Jianpeng was stunned. This stunning woman was actually waiting for Shen Yuan. Chen Na smiled and explained. The owner texted, She'll be here shortly. How's the car handling? One girl leaned in and whispered, Li Jianpeng, look at Shen Yuan and that girl. Something about them feels off, right? Li Jianpeng clenched his fists, jealousy bubbling inside. That bastard Shen Yuan just broke up with his senior. And now he's already with some off-campus beauty. Just then, the cafe owner, Lin Yucheng, walked in. She greeted them with a warm smile. Hello, Miss Chun. Sorry, I got held up picking up my kid. Lin Yucheng looked at Shen Yuan and remarked, Mr. Chun, you look young. Shen Yuan smiled humbly. We're probably about the same age, early 20s. Mrs. Lin, let's talk. Lin Yucheng didn't beat around the bush. The cafe's business is okay, but the location is good for foot traffic. However, with personal stuff and a kid to manage, I can't handle it. I'm selling for 300,000 yuan. Shen Yuan quickly calculated. I've got 300,000 set aside, but after the transfer fee, I'll need 50,000 for startup costs and Shen Na's first month's salary. Without wasting time, he made his offer. 250,000, take it or leave it. Lin Yucheng felt a hint of disappointment. Shen Yuan's offer was lower than her expected 270,000, but since she needed a quick sale and he didn't seem like the type to haggle, she agreed. All right, 250,000 it is. Can we sign the agreement and settle the payment today? Xinyuan nodded. Yes, once the agreement is signed, I'll transfer the money immediately. Lin Yucheng turned to her staff. Xiao Q, Mr. Shen is now the new owner of the cafe. Show him around and help him get familiar with the setup. Xiao Q stepped forward with a smile and greeted Xinyuan. Xinyuan smiled back and pointed to Shen Na. This is Miss Chen Na. She'll be in charge of all operations here. I won't be around much, so everything will fall under her management. The two girls at the nearby table whispered to each other, eyes wide. Did you hear that? This is insane. In just a few minutes, he casually dropped $250,000 on a business deal and clearly bought this cafe for the girl sitting next to him. Meanwhile, Li Jinpeng's face darkened, his eyes burning with resentment. His jealousy was practically boiling over. Lin Yucheng's phone rang, and she gave an apologetic smile. "Excuse me, Mr. Shen, Miss Chen, I need to take this call." As soon as she walked away, Chen Na leaned in and whispered to Shen Yuan. "That woman, Mrs. Lin, is married to Zhang Xiniang. You remember him, right? The guy who got into a fight with Seiheiji Aguajin Center. He used to be my boss at the 4S dealership." Shen Yuan's eyes widened in surprise, then a cold smirk curled at the corner of his lips. "So that scumbag has such a beautiful wife, and he still abuses his position to take advantage of female employees. What a filthy bastard. There's no way in hell I'll let that slide." Chen Na hesitated, then said, "I still have chat records of Zhang Xiniang harassing and threatening me. I was planning to expose him after my final paycheck, so people in the car industry could see his true colors. But Mrs. Lin is a good person. I don't want to hurt her." Xinyuan frowned slightly and replied disapprovingly, "Why tell her at all? How do you think she'll react?" He paused, deep in thought, analyzing the situation. "If I leak those chat logs, Zhang Xiniang will immediately know it was me. A man in his 40s, suddenly unemployed and still responsible for his family. I'm worried he might do something reckless. Tell you what, let me handle this. I'll make sure he pays for what he did, but I won't let it affect you." Xinya smiled with gratitude, her eyes filled with appreciation. "Thank you, Xinyuan." Xinyuan nodded and smiled. "I've already transferred the money to Mrs. Lin. $250,000 is settled. And I've also sent you $50,000. $24,000 for your last 2 months' salary, and the rest is for the cafe startup funds. System notification. The host has allocated the full $1 million investment fund. Initial investment mission completed. Investment level upgraded from beginner to intermediate investor. New mission unlocked. A perfect life should have a diverse portfolio of industries. Mission details. The host will receive an additional 10 million investment fund to expand business ventures. Mission rewards. 1. Triple cash return on all investment revenue. 2. Upon completion, the host will receive a mystery industry. Shen Yuan's eyes lit up with excitement. Damn, the system's being generous this time. 10 million in funds just like that, and a mystery business waiting for me? This is going to be interesting. Mrs. Lin checked her phone and smiled. "Mr. Shen, I've received the payment. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. Hope to see you again someday." Shen Yuan studied her briefly, noting her delicate hands. Damn, she really does have that mature charm. A few less than honorable thoughts crossed his mind, but he quickly shook them off. He stood up and shook Lin Yucheng's hand. "Yes, let's meet again sometime." Half an hour later, Shen Yuan and Chen Na arrived at a high-end Japanese restaurant. Shen Na glanced at the menu hesitantly. "This place looks expensive. Do you come here often?" Shen Yuan smiled. "Not really, but today's a special occasion. Let's celebrate our partnership." He thought to himself, Shen Na really is a challenge. Any man who spends time around her would struggle to resist her charm. Looks like I'll need to be ready for more tests ahead. He looked at Shen Na and casually suggested, "Why don't you sit next to me instead? Come a little closer." Spending $300,000 on the cafe was just the beginning. Now he had to start recovering his investment. Because, let's be real, was he actually doing all this just for the cafe's profits? Mrs. Lin had already admitted that the cafe barely broke even. For him, the real investment was in Chen Na herself. Sensing Shen Yuan's subtle movements, Chen Na whispered, "Shen Yuan, stop. The waiter's coming in." Shen Yuan chuckled. "Relax, the food won't be here that fast." He leaned in closer, his hands starting to wander. A few minutes later, the waiter knocked, reminding Shen Yuan that the dishes were ready. Chen Na immediately pushed Shen Yuan away and quickly tidied herself up, trying to act natural. Shen Yuan simply smiled and said to the waiter, "Come in." He picked up a piece of food and placed it in Chen Na's bowl, speaking casually. "Try this, it's their signature dish." Chen Na looked at Shen Yuan, a complicated emotion flashing through her heart. Shen Yuan is actually quite handsome, but he's always surrounded by beautiful women. How could I possibly fall for him? She warned herself not to get lost in this. Unfortunately, reason was one thing, but reality was another. She was already on this ride, and there was no turning back now. 40 minutes later, Shen Yuan settled the bill. 2,652 yuan in total. As he paid, Shen Yuan mentally calculated. This meal cost me 2,652 yuan, but with the system's triple cashback, I actually earned 5,304 yuan. Making money is this easy. Meanwhile, Chenna glanced at the bill, unable to hold back her thoughts. The price of this dinner is almost equivalent to my commission for selling a car. The life of the rich is different. Spending 2,000 yuan to them is like me spending 20 yuan. After the meal, Chenna wanted to return to the cafe to ask Xiao Q about the situation. Since she would officially start work tomorrow, she hoped to familiarize herself with the place as soon as possible. But Shen Yuan said, "It's already 8:30. Xiao Q gets off work at 9. It would be a bit inconvenient to disturb her now. Why don't you just go home and rest? You can check in tomorrow." Since Shen Yuan put it that way, Chen Na didn't insist. He then drove her home. When they arrived at Chen Na's apartment, she got out of the car and said, "Thanks for today. I'll update you after work tomorrow. See you." Shen Yuan, however, smiled and casually said, "I'm a bit thirsty. Mind if I come up for a glass of water?" Chen Na froze for a second, suddenly feeling nervous. Is our relationship moving too fast? What happened in the private room was already my limit. She hesitated before cautiously asking, "Is it inconvenient?" Shen Yuan raised an eyebrow and asked playfully, "Oh, do you have another man at home?" Chen Na quickly explained, "Of course not. I've already broken up with Zai Heiji." Hearing this, Shen Yuan chuckled meaningfully. "That's great then. I'm just going up for some water. Why would that be a problem?" Chen Na was still hesitant and asked in a low voice, "You really just want a glass of water and then leave?" Shen Yuan smiled mischievously. "Of course, but if you wanted to stay the night, I wouldn't mind either." Huh, Chen Na widened her eyes, mentally rolling her eyes. "Yeah, right. Keep dreaming." As soon as they entered the apartment, Shen Yuan suddenly pressed Chen Na against the wall, one hand wrapping around her waist, his presence overwhelming. Chen Na's heartbeat quickened as she stammered, blushing. "Didn't you say you just wanted a drink of water?" Shen Yuan smirked. "I don't want a drink, but not the kind you're thinking of." Before she could react, he leaned in and kissed her, catching her completely off guard. Meanwhile, Zai Heiji stood outside Chen Na's apartment building, holding a bouquet of roses. He hesitated, but eventually made up his mind. "Nana must have left because of me. I have to earn her forgiveness first. No matter what, I need to become her friend again. Then I can work on winning her back." He looked up at her window, but the lights were off. He frowned. "She's not home." Lowering his gaze to the roses in his hands, he gently placed them by the door. "Roses symbolize I will love you forever until death do us part." She's smart. She'll know they're from me. Just as Zai Heiji was about to leave, he suddenly heard a commotion from upstairs. His expression darkened with anger. That's Nana's voice. Damn it, didn't she say she had nothing to do with Zhang Xiniang? And now she's fooling around with him. Furious, he stormed to the door and pounded on it, shouting, "Zhang Xiniang, get out here." Inside, Chen Na heard the noise and frowned. Is that Zai Heiji's voice? What the hell is he doing here after our breakup? "He's seriously crazy," she whispered. "I think I heard something outside. Someone's knocking, right?" Shen Yuan chuckled and shook his head. "You're imagining things. Someone's knocking on the door next door. Let's go." With that, Shen Yuan scooped her up and carried her into the bedroom. Chen Na whispered nervously, "Shen Yuan, I'm not ready yet. Be gentle." Standing outside, Zai Heiji felt a deep sense of loss. It looks like Nunna has completely fallen for Shen Yuan. I've lost my chance this time. An hour later, Chen Na panted heavily and murmured, "This kind of thing, it feels good, but it's also exhausting." Hearing this, Shen Yuan adjusted his posture and spoke gently. "Just lie down. This way you won't feel as tired." With the enhanced stamina granted by the system, Shen Yuan's endurance was limitless. He simply couldn't stop. Chen Na had always thought of herself as outgoing, yet in reality she was far more reserved than she had expected. This only made him more determined. The next morning, the aroma of toasted bread and fried eggs woke Shen Yuan from his sleep. He sighed inwardly. Chen Na is really thoughtful. This feeling, it's completely different from being with Hui Hui in a hotel. This warmth, this kind of belonging, only a home can provide. A hotel could never compare. System notification. A perfect life should include property ownership to provide a better living environment for yourself and your loved ones. Limited time mission. Purchase a property of at least 100 square meters for Chen Na within 24 hours. Mission rewards. Reward 1, double cashback on the property purchase. Reward 2, a mystery property upon purchase. Shen Yuan was momentarily stunned. Holy SHD, the thought that just flashed through my mind. And the system immediately arranged it for me. With the system's generosity, this house definitely won't be some shabby place. Another thought popped into his mind. Maybe the mystery property is a luxurious mansion, where I can throw pool parties and such. Looks like I need to cultivate relationships with more high-quality women. The chances of surprises like this will only increase. Just then, Chen Na noticed that Shen Yuan was awake and smiled. "You're up already? Breakfast will be ready in 2 minutes." Shen Yuan thought to himself, "I wonder what reward I'd get if Chen Na's affection level reached 90. Then he grinned at her and said, "Is breakfast the only thing on the menu this morning?" Suddenly, he pulled Chen Na into his arms, startling her. She yelped, "Huh, we already did it so many times last night. Aren't you satisfied? Besides, it's daytime now." Shen Yuan chuckled softly. "You focus on making breakfast, I'll focus on mine." He looked at Chen Na, a sly glint flashing in his eyes. "By the way, if you're free this morning, let's go buy a house." "My treat." When Shen Yuan said he wanted to buy her a house, Chen Na froze on the spot, her face full of shock and disbelief. He had already spent 300,000 yuan helping her take over the cafe. And now he was talking about buying her a house. In Star City, even the cheapest apartments cost over 1 million yuan. She had already given him everything. There was nothing left she could offer. What was he after? Could it really be just because she pleased him last night? Shen Yuan spoke gently. "Why so quiet? Don't you want it?" Chen Na turned her head slightly, her cheeks flushing. "No, it's just too sudden. And it's too expensive. Your money didn't fall from the sky. But in truth, it might as well have." Shen Yuan had over 3.5 million yuan readily available just for property purchases. Even if he spent it all, his savings would still comfortably exceed 8 digits. "Don't try to save money for me. It's only right to buy a house for my woman, and it better be at least 120 square meters. I'm not letting my woman settle for less." Chen Na's nose tingled with emotion and tears slipped down her cheeks. Shen Yuan whispered, "We were so intense last night and the soundproofing here is terrible. The neighbors on both sides probably heard everything. We really can't keep renting this place. It's all your fault," she murmured with a soft complaint. "I admit I was partly responsible, but your voice really was loud," Shen Yuan teased with a grin. Chen Na blushed fiercely and quickly turned her head away in embarrassment, refusing to meet his eyes. Suddenly, Chen Na remembered something. "Oh no, I almost forgot. I made plans with my 2 best friends to check out a cafe at 10:30 this morning. How about we go to the cafe first, then look at apartments afterward? After all, buying a house isn't like picking vegetables. It takes time, paperwork, and patience. Even an entire afternoon might not be enough, so it's better to leave some buffer time." Chen Na quickly sent a message to her friends. "Something urgent came up. I can't make it to the cafe today. Can we reschedule for tonight?" But just as she sent the message, her friend replied, "We're almost at the cafe already." "Huh, why?" The woman driving was Lu Minglu, another of Chen Na's close friends, a top-tier fitness coach with an impressive track record and a fierce, commanding aura. "Honestly, I think this whole cafe thing might be a bluff. Or maybe Chen Na's just exaggerating again." Lu Minglu scoffed. What kind of man would be that gullible? Who would just throw 300,000 yuan away for a woman he barely knows? But deep down, Lu Minglu knew Chen Na wasn't the type to show off or talk nonsense. If she said it, there had to be something more behind it. Besides, it had been years since she herself had met a young, handsome man worth paying attention to. And now that Chen Na had snagged one first, she simply had to see for herself what made this man so special. So Chen Na messaged Zaina again, trying to pry out more details. The moment Chen Na revealed that the man was planning to buy a house for her, Lu Minglu slammed the brakes in shock, nearly losing control of the car. "Are you serious? He's taking her house hunting. This isn't some handbag or a few lipsticks we're talking about. It's a house. Even a tiny apartment costs at least 700,000 to 900,000 yuan. Add the cafe on top. And this guy is willing to burn over 1 million yuan for a woman he's only known for 2 weeks. Lu Minglu made up her mind on the spot. "I have to meet this guy in person." She was certain men like that never had just one woman. But when it came to winning hearts, Lu Minglu had full confidence she could outshine anyone. Kayan asked them which real estate project they're visiting. "Tell her we're coming to help her pick. Better to have a few more eyes than let her choose blindly." Lu Minglu couldn't help but think, if anyone was going to cash in on a rich guy, it should be one of her own. No random stranger would get that kind of luck. Without wasting a second, they headed straight for the sales office. 30 minutes later, they arrived, and the moment Lu Minglu stepped inside, Her jaw nearly hit the floor. Xianghu Tindi wasn't just fancy. It was the kind of place where even the tiniest apartments were over 1,000,000 yuan. A guy buying a woman a house like this. If being a mistress came with 1,000,000 yuan gifts, Lu Minglu wondered when her luck would show up. The moment she spotted Chen Na, Kayan waved energetically, her voice brimming with excitement. She grinned, missing her friends more than she'd let on. Chen Na beamed and grabbed Kayan's hands, her smile lighting up the room. Meanwhile, Lu Minglu's eyes had already zeroed in on the handsome guy beside Chen Na. With a sly grin, Lu Minglu asked, "Who's that hunk by your side, Na?" No intro. Chen Na quickly composed herself and introduced him. "This is Chen Yuan, my friend." She gestured to her friends. "This is Lu Minglu, a fitness coach, and this is Hu Chiangxian. She works in sales at Farala. Minglu Kaianqian, this is Shen Yuan." Lu Minglu couldn't resist inching closer to Shen Yuan, her smirk growing. "Nice to meet you, Shen Yuan. You're a bit on the lean side. Maybe come train at our gym sometime, build up those muscles." Inside, though, envy was creeping in. This guy was young, handsome, and definitely living the dream. Shen Yuan laughed it off, completely unbothered. "If I trained at your gym, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to focus at all." Lu Minglu raised an eyebrow in surprise. Shen Yuan wasn't flinching at all, not even when Chen Na was right there. If he really was her boyfriend, wouldn't he be a bit more reserved? Maybe they weren't actually official yet. But then Lu Minglu noticed Chen Na's slightly bruised knees. Oh, that explained a lot. Guess last night had been eventful. No wonder Shen Yuan was being so generous today. Chen Kayan greeted Shen Yuan with a warm smile. "If you ever want to upgrade your car, come by Farala. We'll find you the perfect one." Shen Yuan gave a polite nod. "Sure, I'll drop by when I'm ready." After just a few casual chats, Shen Yuan could tell exactly what was going on. Both of Chen Na's friends were definitely starting to pay more attention to him. He couldn't help but wonder, were these two really her best friends? Either way, the more attention, the better. Another potential fan meant another money tree to water. A win-win. Moments later, Shen Yuan walked into the sales hall with three stunning women, instantly stealing the spotlight. All eyes were on them. Three women with distinct styles, all radiating charm. A middle-aged man muttered under his breath, "Buying a house while flaunting three beauties? Who's he trying to impress?" Jealousy practically oozed from him. But all he could manage was a grunt, nothing more. "We have units available in buildings 3 and 9, sir. The average price is about 15,000 yuan per square meter. Would you like to see the model layout first?" Shen Yuan waved his hand, dismissing the offer. "No need. My budget's 3 million. Just show me the units and floors that match that." The sales rep's eyes lit up as soon as she heard that number. "Understood, sir. Please follow me to the discussion room for a tailored recommendation." She practically led him to the private room with extra enthusiasm. Meanwhile, Lu Minglu stood behind them, totally stunned. What level of rich is this guy exactly? Dropping a 3 million yuan budget like it was no big deal. The more she thought about it, the more determined she became. This was a top-tier benefactor, and she wasn't about to let him slip away. She always said, better to keep the benefits within the sisterhood than hand them over to some random girl. Soon enough, the sales agent came back with a suggestion. "Based on your budget, I'd recommend this 165 square meter unit. It faces south, has a perfect layout, and the total comes to 2.98 million yuan after the discount. It's a perfect fit for what you need." "That's too expensive," Chen Na gasped, startled by the price. Her hand instinctively reached for the hem of Shen Yuan's jacket, voice soft and uncertain. The price was way beyond anything she'd imagined. "Don't worry about it." Shen Yuan gave a reassuring smile. "A bigger house means better comfort," he said with a calm smile. He was already set on buying the property, but making sure Chen Na was calm was just as important. After all, in his eyes, she was already his. She wanted to save him money, but he insisted on giving her only the best. That was Shen Yuan's way, deep, generous, and totally undeniable. A gentleman through and through. Watching it all unfold, the two best friends could only stare, hearts twisting with envy. But Shen Yuan wasn't a fool. Even with the money, no one liked being taken for a ride. "Let us be real," he said, turning to the sales rep. "Give me a real discount, beautiful. I know there's room to work here. If you confirm today, I can get you the maximum discount," the sales rep said eagerly. Shen Yuan cut in with a smile. "Forget the discount. Just throw in 2 parking spaces instead. That'll even it out." Watching Shen Yuan handle the negotiation with such ease, Lu Minglu's heart raced. A man like this, decisive, generous, and powerful, was someone she had to win over. Without even thinking, she started playing with her hair, throwing out little signals. Shen Yuan noticed her little moves almost instantly. He couldn't help but feel a little puzzled. What exactly was Lu Minglu up to? Her gaze lingered on him, movements filled with subtle, suggestive undertones. When their eyes met, Lu Minglu went all in, deploying her best flirtation moves. A lingering smile, seductive glances, a soft lip bite, every move calculated and flawless. Truth be told, Shen Yuan felt a fleeting moment of temptation as he really took her in. This woman was a stunner. Her body, her gaze, everything about her was utterly captivating. If something were to happen between them, it would surely be unforgettable. But Shen Yuan quickly snapped back to reality. Now wasn't the time for distractions. Securing the house was his priority. In the end, he bought a 165-square-meter apartment for Chen Na, priced at 2.98 million yuan. Chen Na's friends were practically in shock, green with envy. So casually, so effortlessly, he bought her a luxury apartment, and the wildest part, it was in Chen Na's name only. When will something like this ever happen to me? They both silently sighed in regret. Just then, Shen Yuan received his triple cashback reward. His account balance had now surpassed 15 million yuan. Even in his father's prime, the family's finances had never hit numbers like this. The message was clear. Boosting favorability with female NPCs was the true path to success. Meanwhile, a new system prompt pinged in. Congratulations, host. You've been awarded a Green City Kingju Lake Villa. Please collect the property at the sales center tomorrow at 9 a.m. Shen Yuan's eyes lit up with excitement. Damn, that's one of the top 10 luxury villas in the city. The sales agent, equally impressed, couldn't help but admire him. In today's slow market, Shen Yuan not only bought a property outright, but gave it to a woman who didn't even seem to be his girlfriend. Men like this were a rare find. With a sweet smile, she added, Mr. Chun, the contract is signed. I'll follow up with Ms. Chun on the remaining procedures. By the way, maybe we could add each other on WeChat? If you need anything else, I'd be happy to help. Shen Yuan didn't hesitate. He pulled out his phone and added her on WeChat. Better to keep connections open for future convenience, he thought. Watching the sales agent connect with Shen Yuan so easily, Lu Minglu's fury boiled over. Who does this vixen think she is, trying to take what's mine? Without skipping a beat, Lu Minglu stood up, her tone laced with playful charm. Shen Yuan, I'm thinking about buying a small apartment soon, and I could really use some advice from someone as experienced as you. Also, if you ever want to get into fitness, my gym is always open to you. As she spoke, Lu Minglu took the initiative to scan Shen Yuan's WeChat QR code. He didn't refuse, smiling and nodding. Expanding connections was, after all, part of his long-term strategy. No, I have a few things to take care of this afternoon, so I won't be joining you all, Shen Yuan said gently, reaching out to ruffle Chen Na's hair. You three can catch up, grab a meal, or hang out at the cafe, whatever you prefer. Chen Na nodded obediently, a hint of reluctance in her eyes, but didn't say anything more. He's not even staying for a meal? Am I really that unappealing? Lu Minglu thought, a pang of disappointment creeping in. Despite all her subtle flirting, Shen Yuan remained indifferent to her presence. Minglu Kaiangxian, let's grab something to eat first. I'll show you the cafe later, Xena suggested with a smile, while Kaiangxian teased. We're definitely treating ourselves today. You're officially a 3 million yuan woman now. Minglu and I are so jealous, Kaiangxian teased. Exactly, Lu Minglu chimed in, though her smile seemed a bit strained. Her mind was no longer on lunch. It was completely on Shen Yuan. Half an hour later, Shen Yuan returned to campus and made his way to the cafeteria for a quiet meal. As he entered, Shen Yuan noticed a familiar figure sitting alone in a corner, his counselor, Li Xiao. It was unusual to see her dining alone. Even more curious, some students nearby were whispering and casting furtive glances in her direction, as if something was amiss. As he approached, Shen Yuan overheard her speaking on the phone. I understand. I'll prepare the materials this afternoon. The report should be ready by tomorrow. Yes, I've checked. Tech University, Agricultural University, and even the business school all have similar startup bases. Tomorrow night, I'm afraid I already have other plans. Apologies, Secretary Liu. This is just a personal matter. Yes, thank you, goodbye. She ended the call with a sigh, her brow furrowing, exhaustion evident on her face. At that moment, Shen Yuan sat down across from her. Everything okay, Ms. Lee? You looked pretty swamped just now. Li Xiao didn't hide it, letting out a light sigh. The school is planning a student entrepreneurship base, and I'm part of the project team. That call was about coordinating things. Shen Yuan wasn't too familiar with the entrepreneurship project, so he decided to ask Li Xiao for more details. It's a support initiative the school is planning, Li Xiao explained patiently. There's a problem, though. We're short on capital, so we'll need to find partnerships with outside companies. And what exactly can our school offer these companies in return? Shen Yuan asked, intrigued. Li Xiao gave a faint, wry smile. The only leverage we have is talent. We've signed contracts promising to send a certain number of qualified graduates to these companies each year. Shen Yuan chuckled, shaking his head. Let us be honest. Do we really have that kind of leverage? Our graduates can't compare to those from top-tier universities. Li Xiao, a graduate of a double first-class university herself, knew he was right. If companies don't see real value, they won't invest a single yuan. Her face darkened slightly as a thought weighed on her. Her supervisor had suggested she attend dinner parties with corporate executives to build connections. The mere thought of a university lecturer being reduced to that made her feel disgusted. What am I? A teacher or a glorified hostess? Seeing her troubled expression, Shen Yuan began to seriously consider the idea. He had a dedicated investment fund of 10 million yuan, but any project needed to be profitable. For that to happen, the student success rate would need to hit at least 30%. Given the school's current standing, he doubted it could even reach 20%. Actually, I was thinking, Shen Yuan began, but Li Xiao interrupted. You're interested in starting a business too? She assumed he wanted to join the project. Shen Yuan smiled. A little interest maybe, not much. In truth, I'm not an entrepreneur. He was the investor. Well, it's good to have that mindset, Li Xiao said with a light smile, but her voice grew a little doubtful. But honestly, the project isn't even off the ground yet. Without an investor, it's unlikely to get anywhere. Just then, a system prompt appeared. New mission. Invest in the university's entrepreneurship project to earn reputation points. Reputation reflects how much teachers and students respect and acknowledge the host. This mission will only calculate reputation within the university. Shen Yuan was momentarily stunned. He hadn't expected this to trigger a task. It was all about gaining reputation. If profit wasn't the main concern, then this project actually presented a great opportunity, and it could help Li Xiao out of a tough spot too. Why not? Exactly. I'm the investor, Shen Yuan thought smugly, the corners of his mouth curling up. Who I invest in, how much I invest, it's all up to me. If I invest in beautiful senior or junior students starting businesses, not only do I gain reputation points, but I also boost their favorability. The cashback alone could make my hands cramp from counting. By the way, Miss Lee, he asked with a serious tone, if someone, say a private investor or company, wants to invest, who evaluates the students? The school or the investor? Technically, it should be the school, Li Xiao replied honestly. But let's face it, no one's stepping up to invest right now, so the rules are pretty flexible. Why are you asking, though? Because I want to invest, Shen Yuan said calmly. But under one condition, I get to evaluate the students. Li Xiao burst into laughter, thinking he was joking. After all, his family had gone bankrupt, and he had even applied for financial aid. Now he suddenly wanted to become an investor. But then Shen Yuan pulled out his phone, opened his bank app, and casually showed her the screen. Miss Lee here, check my account. Count the zeros. Li Xiao instinctively leaned in closer. As she counted, her eyes widened in disbelief. 9 digits. Over 15 million yuan. She froze, speechless. This, she gasped, covering her mouth in shock. Shen Yuan explained with a calm smile. Before my family business collapsed, I dabbled in BT coins and foreign exchange. This money, I earned it myself. Li Xiao felt like she was in a dream. This is surreal. My student is a multimillionaire. Then Shen Yuan leaned forward slightly, a playful glint in his eye and a teasing smile on his lips. Miss Lee, how about this? Why don't you come with me? We'll travel the world together. I'll make sure you eat well, drink well, and live the good life. His words were bold and casual, but Li Xiao's face turned crimson in an instant, burning with embarrassment. Li Xiao couldn't help but drift into a brief fantasy. Shen Yuan truly had the strength to make such a promise now. Could it be? He wasn't joking. Don't say such things, she replied, trying to maintain composure. She coughed softly to hide her unease. Are you really planning to invest in this university entrepreneurship project? It's rarely profitable. I suggest you think twice. This isn't just pocket change. Her voice was steady, but her gaze wavered. She couldn't even meet his eyes. Shen Yuan, however, looked more serious than ever. I've considered that, but honestly, I just want to contribute to my alma mater's development. He's serious, he's really serious. Li Xiao's thoughts spiraled. Does that mean when he said we should travel the world together, was he serious about that too? No, no, Li Xiao, he's your student. What on earth are you thinking? Even though it was just a fleeting thought, her cheeks instantly flushed crimson. She shook her head quickly, trying to banish the inappropriate idea from her mind. I'll report this to the leadership later, she said, standing up quickly. Let's talk again later. You finish your meal first. As she walked away, Shen Yuan called out with a smirk. Oh, and Miss Li, don't be too quick to say no to eating well and living well. At 4:30 in the afternoon, Chenna sent him a photo of a cup of coffee she had made herself, along with a playful message. Come try it when you're free. Shen Yuan replied immediately. Looks off just from the photo. I'll come over and give you some proper training. He wasn't impressed by the coffee, but her outfit in the photo caught his attention. An apron, light makeup, and a playful ribbon in her hair. It was a look that stirred his imagination. Meanwhile, elsewhere on campus, Yu, why are you still thinking about Shen Yuan? He's no longer a rich kid. He's probably working part-time just to pay tuition. The speaker was another girl from the neighboring class, Song Xiaoi. You're the one who keeps talking about him? Xiaoi rolled her eyes. What about you, Yuping? Why are you still chatting and going out with Shen Yuan's roommate, Huang Heibao? Yuping sighed, scowling. Don't bring it up. I've rejected him so many times, but he keeps clinging like a leech. He's driving me crazy. Even if he asks you out, at least you'd get a free meal. But if you get involved with Shen Yuan now, you'd be the one paying the price. The short-haired girl leaned in and whispered, Shay, you really need to think this through. Just as she finished, she saw Shen Yuan approaching from the other side. She quickly nudged her friend. Shu, he's coming. You've been smirked. Didn't I say so? He really does look like he's headed for part-time work. It's around 3 p.m. Now, perfect timing for a restaurant prep shift. Hey, should we follow him and see which shop he's working at? One girl teased. You guys don't dare ask, I'll do it myself. Xiaoi frowned slightly. Come on, that's inappropriate. We're classmates, not paparazzi. But Yuping wouldn't let it go. With a condescending tone, she called out, Shen Yuan, haven't seen you lately. Been busy with part-time work, huh? Which place are you at? Maybe we'll drop by and support you. Shen Yuan didn't really want to argue, especially out of courtesy to Huang Heibao. But he wasn't about to let it slide either. With a faint smile, he replied, Yeah, I've been working at a cafe. If you're so interested, why not come along? I'll make you some coffee myself. The squad rolled up to the cafe, curiosity fully activated. Inside, Chunna and Lu Minglu casually existed, like background NPCs who stole the spotlight. They weren't even trying, yet the whole cafe practically rotated just to look. The trio trailing behind Shen Yuan froze mid-step, brains buffering. One glance at those legs, straight out of a high-budget anime opening. Honestly, one looked like she glitched out of a dream sequence and forgot to return. Chin-na acknowledged their arrival like this was all part of a soft-focused drama. Lu Minglu tossed a playful smirk that suggested someone had just been caught red-handed. Apparently busy, translated to leading a field trip. The two women drifted closer to Shen Yuan with the kind of ease that said, this isn't their first time stealing the scene. Meanwhile, the three followers turned into real-life meme reactions. Mouths open, processing failure. Ah, mystery solved. This was the infamous part-time gig spot. Shen Yuan played it cool. Explaining the meetup like this was all totally spontaneous and not at all impressive. Lu Minglu threw in a warm nod, like the hostess of a luxury lounge. Xiao Qiu went full barista mode, ready to impress. The staff swept in, offering free drinks with VIP energy. A quick app scan was all it took. 2020's hospitality, now with QR codes. Watching Shen Yuan operate like cafe royalty made the girls wish for an invisibility button. Wait a sec, did someone just call him boss? Plot twist. This part-time gig had main character energy. Xiaoi gave the universal signal for abort mission with a subtle sleeve tug and regret on loop. Oh, the irony. 5 minutes ago, he was just that broke guy with a job. Now he's the boss, they're the punchline. Consensus reached, time to vanish. They made a low-key retreat while Yupping mentally admitted, This dude's got layers. Rich, surrounded by models, running a cafe, yet still playing humble. Shen Yuan, CEO of Plot Twists. The classmates made a speedy exit, leaving Lu Minglu squinting like she'd just smelled something weird. Shen Yuan only laughed. A shrug and a grin said it all. Maybe the glamour levels in the room were just too high for the average mortal. Lu Minglu raised a brow like a queen on her throne, flawless and fully aware, with a mock warning tossed in for flair. The flirty vibe was unmistakable. Shen Yuan logged it like a pro, challenge accepted. This one wasn't getting away. Shen Ne appeared with coffee, casual as ever, like it hadn't just turned into a rom-com in here. She explained the sweetness level like she was customizing a potion. Half sugar magic, very balanced. He took the cup with a grin that practically sparkled. If it was made by her, even a sugar bomb would be gourmet. Lu Minglu rolled her eyes like a seasoned cynic. But even she had to admit, cheesy lines hit different when served with a side of good looks and a cafe. A blush snuck up before she could stop it. Out of nowhere, Lu Minglu whipped out her inner fitness coach. Height. Weight. Shen Yuan tossed the stats over like it was his gym application. She squinted. Secret diet. Mystery supplement. Shen Yuan smirked. He threw in a vague, high-energy usage line that landed with a wink. Shen Ne, catching the subtext, instantly turned red like someone just turned on a heat lamp. Lu Minglu, trained in body language and gym gossip, read that innuendo like it was bolded in size 20 font. Shen Yuan's stock was rising fast. Lu Minglu even gave him a diagnosis. Too lean, more gains needed. A smirk and a comeback followed. Classic gym pitch detected. Add muscle, join gym, date trainer, very subtle. Lu Minglu leaned in with a grin that screamed, "Don't judge, it's commission season." He laughed, giving her just enough to keep the game going. A maybe never sounded so much like a yes. Deal sealed. Lu Minglu rose like she just aced a side quest. His number safely stored, her mission was clearly accomplished. Spy-level efficiency. She left with a wink that deserved background music. Shen Yuan watched, impressed. Bold moves deserved respect. And just like that, the maybe later felt more like a definitely soon. Upstairs plans kicked in, hand held with a grin. Shen Ne blinked, confused. What kind of training was this again? With a twinkle in his eye, Shen Yuan delivered the classic, "I'll explain upstairs." Business coaching, huh? Shen Ne turned pink, clearly not the Excel kind. She whispered a warning, but as everyone knows, "Not here" has the exact opposite effect in every rom-com. Whatever training meant, it had clearly begun. Upstairs ambience, let's just say the soundtrack changed. Downstairs, Zyro Q paused. Yep, something was definitely happening upstairs, and it wasn't a business lecture. At first, Zyro Q was clueless, but a few muffled sounds from above had her turning tomato mode in seconds. Like a pro, she flipped the sign, locked up, and pretended it was a scheduled break. Emergency discretion mode. Activated. Then came the knock. Lu Minglu, charging back for her bag, wondering why the place suddenly became a fortress. Zyro Q hovered by the door, debating her life choices, while Minglu outside went full impatient mode. The hesitation didn't last long. Door unlocked. Situation unlocked. Lu Minglu stepped in just in time for the soundtrack from upstairs. Some very passionate training in progress. Her eyebrows hit the ceiling. Midday and already this intense? Bold move. 10 minutes in, the symphony continued. Lu Minglu blinked. Shen Yuan? That guy's stamina must be running on Wi-Fi. The realization hit. This wasn't just any guy. Shen Yuan was operating on ultra-performance mode. With a smirk, Lu Minglu called out her exit like a stage cue, making sure it echoed all the way to the training room. Shen Ne heard it and nearly dropped the dumbbell. Timing couldn't have been worse. Internal scream busted. The echo had done its job. Shen Yuan, half annoyed and half amused, made a mental note. Next time, premium access only. No more free shows for eavesdroppers. Back on campus, Secretary Liu raised an eyebrow. A student investor. That had to be a typo. Counselor Li laid out Shen Yuan's plan with the seriousness of a startup pitch. But Liu looked like he'd just bitten into a lemon. Li Xiao reassured him. With a bank balance of 10 million, Shen Yuan wasn't just dreaming big. He was playing in expert mode. Liu practically choked on the number. 10 million? Was this some rich dad's sponsorship? Turns out it was all Shen Yuan's. Suddenly, Liu's tone did a full 180. No need for outside help when the cash cow is right in homeroom. Liu demanded a meeting, already plotting his next move. Li Xiao threw in a gentle reminder. Respect the wallet, even if it's wearing a school uniform. Liu wasn't having it, title over tact as usual. His logic, rich or not, every student needs to be kept on a short leash, preferably one labeled discipline. Shen Yuan's phone buzzed. It was his teacher calling, probably not for homework help. He picked up calmly, always ready for whatever twist the school threw next. Shen Yuan got the gist fast. The school had switched gears from admiration to control. His response? Cool and calculated, it was speaker time. He wasn't wasting time with middlemen. Time to talk money with the man at the top. Shen Yuan coolly stated his schedule was packed, hinted at future talks, left his number via Miss Li, and ended the call before Liu could blink. Liu sat frozen, a drip of cold sweat betraying the power shift. This student didn't just talk back, he outplayed him. Li Xiao blinked, caught between awe and mild panic. The kid just ghosted the secretary mid-call. Bold, unexpectedly charming too. Back in the office, Secretary Liu stood up so fast his chair nearly tipped. That call ended faster than his last diet attempt. Used to obedient nods, Liu wasn't thrilled with Shen Yuan's confident no-show. Not one bit. But the stakes were too high for tantrums. If this deal flopped, his name was on the blame board. Swallowing his pride like a bitter pill, Liu told Li Xiao to invite the kid to dinner. His version of a friendly squeeze. Li Xiao, already one step ahead, quietly tipped Shen Yuan off via text. At a cafe upstairs, Shen Yuan read the message with a smirk. Tables had turned, and he liked the view from the top. He figured a little waiting game wouldn't hurt. Let Liu stew in anticipation. Revenge served room temp. Chen Ne, now composed, reminded Shen Yuan to handle his business first. Priorities, after all. She left with a casual promise of next time, cheeks still pink from earlier chaos. As she walked off, Shen Yuan admired her thoughtfulness. She looked out for him more than his phone's screen protector ever did. Right on cue, Fang Human called. Playground stroll? Shen Yuan teased no icy drinks offer. She clarified, surprise visitor alert. She hesitated, then hinted maybe she could make an exception. Smooth, but risky. Shen Yuan, channeling his inner health coach, reminded her to rest and promised to meet her downstairs. Emotional damage. 0, gentleman's score, 10-10. She practically dive-hugged him. He caught her gently, reminding her to chill, both emotionally and physically. No heroics during the monthly boss fight. Fang Human nearly melted. If affection were chocolate, she was fondue by now. With her heart doing gymnastics, she asked what every brave girl wonders. So, what are we? With affection stats hitting 91, she figured the moment of truth had arrived. Define the vibe or bust. Because obviously, every girl wants to DTR. Define the relationship for the grown-ups in the back. Shen Yuan, sensing her emotional level up, answered without flinching. Of course, we're dating. Achievement unlocked. Fang Huimin nearly levitated from joy. Cupid must have gone full Wi-Fi, signal strong and everywhere. So happy she blurted out a follow-up. Exclusive, right? Shen Yuan gave a firm nod, sealed it with casual confidence. No receipts needed. Shen Yuan mentally noted that titles mattered. Girlfriend was exclusive. Everyone else just got the generic VIP pass. Technically, he'd never lied. He just had a rotating cast of nicknames on standby. Feeling generous, he figured it was time to drop some serious cash. Car, house, both were on the menu. Fang Huimin blinked like she'd just won a shopping spree she never entered. Even a lipstick would have done the trick. Her eyes practically turned into cartoon stars. Jackpot vibes. Shen Yuan gave a CEO-worthy shrug. Car can wait. House comes first. Efficiency matters even in flexing. She leaned in like this was the coziest rom-com finale. He, meanwhile, had house errands like it was no big deal. By morning, his inbox lit up. New challenger approaching. Lu Minglu dropped a gym invite wrapped in a video call. Casual, suspiciously casual. Shen Yuan squinted. Early morning video calls, bold move. Lu Minglu went full quiz mode. Loaded questions, eyebrow raises included. She watched him like a cat sizing up a laser pointer. So far, no flinch. Coach Liu strolled in, unknowingly dropping drama bombs. Plot twist, the new client was none other than the infamous gold-digging ex. Of course. Zhou Wanning walked in smiling like she owned the place. Probably rehearsed in the mirror. Lu Minglu played it cool. Just another Tuesday filled with unexpected drama. Zhou Wanning leaned in, clearly ready for gossip before lunges. Lu casually dropped the tea. Her friend landed a human ATM. Apparently the guy treated houses like snacks. 3 million, no sweat. Zhou nearly dropped her water bottle. That level of rich, That own your own elevator, rich. Mentally, she ran the math. Old sugar daddy could work, maybe, probably. Hodgen flashed in her mind like a budget app notification. Hard pass. Lou dropped the bomb, not only rich but younger than her friend. Cheat code unlocked. She smiled, somewhere between admiration and quiet plotting. Turns out what stung most wasn't the money. It was the combo of youth and unlimited credit. Life really had DLC. Joe Wanning's radar pinged. She needed visual stats. Wait, hot or not? She asked, sipping the tea. Lu Minglu smirked. Not even close, prepare to be shocked. Tall, handsome, 10/10 would recommend, she said casually. Wanning blinked. This dude sounded like a fantasy. Must be dating a supermodel, right? Lou played it cool. We're kinda on the same level. Everyone's got their charm. Wanning's brain did the math. If that guy liked someone Lou tier, things made sense. Then Ping Shen Yuan messaged. Heading to Kingzhu Lake to grab the house. Lou, need backup. Shen, if you're free, hop in. Lou, send it, I'm in. Lou fired off her location and instantly blushed like an anime girl in love. Wanning side-eyed. You look extra sparkly. Spill. Lou smiled. Gotta cancel. Big house trip. I'll double refund you. Wanning, EXE stopped responding. Kingzhu Lake, that's rich people HQ. Her brain started piecing it together. Wait. Your friend's man is now inviting you to house hunt. Oof, Coach Lou savage much. Snatching your bestie's sugar daddy. She laughed, but low-key jealous. New character alert. Han Lihai Jim Bro with biceps and questions. Han Lihai tried to shoot his shot with a smile and a protein shake. Lou didn't even blink. He wasn't even on her map. If your net worth ain't flexing, I'm not texting. Lou only had eyes for Shen Yuan now. 10 minutes later, Lou strolled out. Her ride, already waiting. Han stared at the M9 like it just insulted his entire paycheck. Bro and the G-Wagon failed. This guy won. Wanning deadpanned. Don't look at the wheels. This man drops 3 mil like it's spare change. Han's brain, 3 million yuan. His soul left his body. But Wanning's brain had other alarms going off. The guy looked familiar. Too familiar. Face fully revealed it was him. Shen freaking Yuan. Same guy who used to be broke. Now casually luxury car plus luxury real estate. Her mouth open, her thoughts scrambled eggs. This did not compute. Seeing Lou and Shen all smiley hit her like a glitch in the Matrix. And boom, everything clicked. Lou was talking about her ex. The one she ghosted 2 weeks ago. He'd gone from broke boy to big boss. And she just caught the biggest L of her life. Joe Wanning's brain was on fire. Shen Yuan, the guy she once tossed aside, had completely leveled up. How was she supposed to deal with this plot twist? She had left Shen Yuan for an old man. What was she even thinking? Her past decisions now felt like a bad meme. She literally facepalmed. Was she in an alternate universe where common sense didn't exist? The old man tried to text her again. She didn't even blink before shooting back a go to hell and blocking him. Suddenly, she felt like she had superpowers. No more old guy drama. The old man stared at his phone like it had just betrayed him. Wait, what? Meanwhile, Joe Wanning was deep in thought. Did she still have a shot with Shen Yuan? The guy was killing it now, and she couldn't help but wonder if she was out of the race. They had something, but his life was looking more packed than a concert venue. Coach Liu, the finance freshman, and the mystery bestie. Was she just another face in the crowd now? Joe Wanning couldn't stop missing him, though. It was like a pop song she couldn't get out of her head. On the flip side, Shen Yuan and Lu Minglu were cruising to check out a villa that screamed luxury. Lu Minglu couldn't resist a quick glance over at Shen Yuan, clearly admiring the ride. She was practically swooning over his car. It's huge, like off-road huge. Shen Yuan just smirked. Off-roading sounds fun. Maybe I'll bring Nana next time. He was way too smooth to fall for her hint, though. Shen Yuan, the calm guy he was, just raised an eyebrow. You're not playing by the usual rules, huh? Tell me more. Lu Minglu blinked, caught off guard. Shen Yuan just smiled like he had the game already figured out. Shen Yuan had a line prepared like he was reading from a playbook. You brought it up, he said with a grin. No more pretending. Coach Liu, I want to play ball, he said, his eyes full of mischief. Shen Yuan was clearly having a blast. Lu Minglu rolled her eyes but couldn't stop laughing. You're so annoying, she teased, clearly enjoying the moment. Half an hour later, they pulled up to the sales center. Shen Yuan was there to look at his new villa, talk about a flex. The second they walked in, the consultant was all smiles, like she knew the commission was already hers. Mr. Shen, I'm your property guide, she said, grinning like she just met a celebrity. Want to see the villa first or sign the deal? she asked, practically winking with the offer. Shen Yuan was all business, suggesting they sign first. The consultant's eyes sparkled. He was clearly a big deal. She nodded so fast it was like a bobblehead. Of course, Mr. Shen. A client who didn't beat around the bush. Definitely a favorite type of client. The contract was signed, and they were off to tour the property. The consultant couldn't help but sneak peeks at Shen Yuan and Lu Minglu. These two definitely aren't a couple, but wow, her figure is unreal. As a top-tier fitness coach, Lu Minglu was all confidence. Next to her, most women might as well be invisible, brutal but true. The consultant couldn't help thinking, with looks like that, she doesn't even need skills. Men would line up to buy her villas and cars. Too bad that's not me. Soon enough, they reached the gates of the villa. As soon as Shen Yuan stepped out of the car, he knew this villa was his kind of place. Wow, Shen Yuan, this place is stunning. Lu Minglu's excitement was obvious. Her eyes sparkled like stars. In a city full of concrete towers, a private villa like this was a diamond. If I lived here, my life would totally change, she thought. Winning Shen Yuan over seemed like step one. This place is 610 square meters, but with the garden it's nearly 2,000, the consultant said, showing off. And it's a blank slate for you to design however you want. Lu Minglu was floored. It's massive. At that moment, the system pinged with a notification. Congratulations, host. First property acquired. Enjoy a 20 million yuan renovation fund. Shen Yuan froze. Wait, are you serious? The house was only 10 million and now the renovation is double that. But since the system had spoken, he sighed and accepted his fate. Ms. Guan, any good renovation companies you recommend? Shen Yuan asked. The consultant was quick to respond, of course, Mr. Shen. I know some top design firms in zinking. Their reputation is solid and their style is impeccable. I'll send you the details on WeChat. All right, nothing much to see here, Shen Yuan said as he turned to leave. But Lu Minglu raised her phone, grinning. Mind if I grab some photos and videos for Quaishan? She asked, clearly excited. Shen Yuan nodded. Sure, just don't show my face. Lu Minglu laughed. I wouldn't dream of it. What if I attract a bunch of demons? She wasn't some naive girl like Shen Na. Shen Yuan wasn't for sharing. How many followers do you have on Quaishan? Shen Yuan asked. A little over 50,000, Lu Minglu replied smugly. Mostly local, she smirked. What, planning to secretly watch my videos? You perv, 50,000 guys have seen them. Why can't I? Shen Yuan smirked. He wasn't exactly a slouch in the game department either. Lu Minglu teased. They only get the public version. You, however, get the premium content. Send me your account later. I've got a video from a lounge bar we're promoting. If you're interested, you could check it out. Lu Minglu's eyes brightened. Seriously? You want a lounge bar or two? I'll send you my account right away. Coach Lu, where are you headed next? Xinyuan asked. Lu Minglu gave him a playful look. Where else do you think I'm going? I thought you were taking me to play ball, Xinyuan said bluntly, dropping all pretense. Lu Minglu scoffed. In your dreams, you men are all the same. Bullying Nana yesterday, I haven't even started grilling you about that. Before she could finish, Shen Yuan suddenly slammed on the brakes. Lu Minglu lost her balance, stumbling forward and landing in Shen Yuan's arms. He smirked. You've got some nerve listening downstairs that long last night. I haven't even charged you for it. If you're so heartbroken over Nana, why not take her place? No more hints, just straight talk. No way, she replied. Lu Minglu refused, but her tone wasn't exactly firm. She definitely wanted to get closer to Shen Yuan, but not too quickly. She knew that women who gave in too easily quickly lost their allure. The more a man can't have you, the more he'll want you. That's why she kept him intrigued, playing the long game. Once he earned her, he'd cherish her even more. Soon, Shen Yuan arrived at the gym. Before getting out, Lu Minglu smiled. Bye, Shen Yuan. Come work out at our gym sometime. Bye, Coach Lu. Let's play ball next time. Shen Yuan called as he drove off, slipping in one last tease. To her surprise, Lu Minglu felt a little flutter inside. As soon as she stepped into the gym, she bumped into a well-built, muscular man. The man was the gym manager. Minglu, what's going on? I heard you bile on a client session this morning. You know that's a breach of contract, right? I had some personal matters to take care of, Lu Minglu replied calmly. I already spoke to Ms. Zhou, and I told her I'd refund the session double. Yeah, you offered her a double refund, but she's still a little upset. Don't worry, I've already handled it for you. Lu Minglu raised an eyebrow, slightly confused. Why would Ms. Zhou suddenly cause trouble? She saw right through the manager's tactic. Play the boss first, then act like the good guy. Really? That's your strategy? You think someone like you can win me over? Thanks, manager. If there's nothing else, I'll get back to work, Lu Minglu replied. The manager wasn't ready to give up. It's almost noon. What work could you possibly have now? Let's grab lunch. No thanks, I brought my own fitness meal. I don't eat high-calorie stuff. Lu Minglu was the gym's top-performing coach and also the boss's favorite. She knew this little manager had no real power over her. Only a man like Shen Yuan could catch her eye. Shen Yuan was someone she wanted to conquer, and maybe be conquered by. I'm destined to live in a lakeside villa at Kingju Lake. You think I'd let trash like this block my way? Her ambition was clearer than ever. Shen Yuan was hers to win. Meanwhile, at the university, Secretary Kong Zongping of the Youth League Committee had just heard about Shen Yuan's interest in investing in the university's startup base. Have you reached out to him directly yet? He asked Liu Xiaojiang. Liu replied, not yet. I asked teacher Li to invite him to dinner, but he hasn't responded. Secretary Kong frowned. We're the ones receiving investment. We should show proper respect. Just because he's a student doesn't mean we can afford to be careless. Liu nodded quickly. I'll go to his door myself this afternoon. Liu Xiaojiang frowned. Still feels like we're not showing enough sincerity. I'll come with you this afternoon and let's bring teacher Li too. You want to go personally? Liu looked stunned. Shen Yuan is still just a student here. Isn't this a bit over the top? Meanwhile, at 5:30 p.m. in the boys' dorm, Huang Mao rushed up to Shen Yuan, waving his phone excitedly. Bro, I've been chatting with Tian Yupping nonstop. Take a look and tell me, how close am I to winning her over? Shen Yuan scrolled through the chat history. It was a wall of messages from Huang Mao full of care and concern. Tian Yupping's replies were cold and minimal, barely 2 or 3 words, yet Huang Mao looked like he was on cloud 9. Shen Yuan was speechless. 3 years of no progress, yet if Huang Mao somehow managed to win her over, it had to be some kind of black magic. Bro, look, Huang Mao said confidently. She replies to every message. That's a huge leap from when I first chased her. Old Ko, Huang Mao scoffed. That virgin? What does he know? Come on, you're the most experienced one in our dorm. From the side, old Ko grumbled. What the hell did I do to you today? At least she replies and she agreed to hang out this weekend. Huang Mao said firmly. That means she likes me, right? Tell me, bro. Shen Yuan had no more energy to argue. Right, sure, whatever you say. Hell yeah, if you think so, then it's basically confirmed. Nice. Huang Mao beamed with pride while Shen Yuan thought silently. Damn, hardcore simps like this are kind of terrifying. Suddenly, loud knocking echoed from outside the dorm room. Huang Mao jumped up. Who the heck is banging like that? He opened the door and immediately blurted out. Whoa, Secretary Kong? Secretary Liu? Counselor Li, what brings you all here? Huang Mao quickly stepped aside, wide-eyed. The school leaders were standing at the door. Li Xiao spoke up. Is Shen Yuan here? He's here, of course he's here. As he let them in, Huang Mao thought. 3 big names coming for a bro? Don't tell me he broke some sacred school rule. A couple of students in the hallway whispered. The students couldn't help but wonder why 2 secretaries showed up at Shen Yuan's dorm. Were they there for Shen Yuan? Wasn't his family bankrupt like last week? Now he's rolling in a car and dating someone from outside school. Where'd that come from? They all figured Shen Yuan was up to something sketchy. Li Jianpeng strolled by, gossiping as usual. Where else would he get all that money? Probably about to get arrested. Huang Mao shot back, telling Li to zip it. Ai Zhangping just smirked, clearly enjoying the drama. Huang Mao grumbled, let's see who's wrong here. Li Xiao turned to Shen Yuan and introduced the secretaries with a smile. Meet Secretary Kong and Secretary Liu. Shen Yuan jumped to his feet, greeting Secretary Kong. Secretary Kong nodded and wasted no time, asking, Got time tonight, Shen Yuan? We'd like to take you to dinner. Discuss the startup base, Kong added. Shen Yuan agreed casually and Secretary Kong was all smiles. Great, let's book a spot. It's getting late anyway. The trio walked out, with Shen Yuan sandwiched between them, leaving the hallway buzzing with whispers. Bro Peng scoffed. Doesn't look like they're arresting him. Looks more like a VIP inspection. They're just saving face. Huang Mao fired back. Stop talking nonsense. They're taking Shen Yuan to dinner with 2 secretaries. That's huge. They couldn't help but wonder what kind of boss move Shen Yuan had pulled to get the school's top brass to treat him like this. Huang Mao smirked, dripping with sarcasm, while Ai Jingpeng turned bright red in anger. The others had a realization. Shen Yuan was playing in a completely different league now. At a fancy restaurant, the four of them sat down in a private room. Secretary Kong wasted no time asking, "What's your plan and any conditions, Shen Yuan?" Kong added, "We want to understand your vision fully." Shen Yuan calmly stated, "If you want me to invest, my conditions are non-negotiable, but don't worry, they won't clash with the school's interests." Kong nodded, "Speak freely." Shen Yuan's voice grew firm. "I want full autonomy. I'll decide who gets funding and how much. The school won't interfere." Liu Xiaojing frowned. "That's not how we do things here." But Kong waved him off. "Let him finish." Shen Yuan, this setup involves many parties. Full control might not be that simple. The school had to ensure that the students they backed actually succeeded. Shen Yuan nodded. "You're right, Secretary, but without funding, success is just talk. Think of me as the base's acting director. MY money isn't just about talent, it's about profits, and that matters to both of us." Shen Yuan stopped, making it clear that while he had money to invest, he wasn't about to hand out charity. His mission was simple: build wealth, grow businesses, earn prestige, and become a tycoon. One thing was clear: he'd need top-tier talent to run his empire. Instead of looking outside for help, why not use the startup base to build a loyal, in-house team from the start? More importantly, the system needed him to interact with plenty of female NPCs. Where better to find approachable, charming, and easily unlockable girls than on a college campus. Plus, the female students at Zinking University were known for being the most stunning in the city. "I'll need to meet with the Education Bureau before I can give you an official answer," Secretary Kong said, polite but firm. Shen Yuan just nodded, knowing that red tape would delay things. The dinner ended with clinking glasses and polite chatter. By the time they left, it was late. Secretary Kong checked the time, then turned to Lishao. "Shen Yuan's had a few drinks, he can't drive. Why don't you give him a ride? We'll head off first." "Wow, your new car's really spacious," Lishao remarked, a little tense. This was that internet-famous SUV, something most people could only dream of owning. "I've always driven sedans," Shen Yuan replied casually. "Thought I'd try out an SUV this time," Shen Yuan added nonchalantly. Just as Lishao buckled her seatbelt, her phone rang. "Li Meng, what? You got rescheduled and can't help with the move." "It's fine, I'll just book a van service. Don't worry, I've got it." Shen Yuan realized the call was from her younger sister. "You're moving?" Shen Yuan asked, curious. Lishao nodded. "Yeah, in 2 days. Our lease is up, so my sister and I are moving to a new place." Wanting to help, Shen Yuan offered, but Lishao hesitated. "That's not really appropriate. This is a brand new car. I'd feel bad scratching it. I'll just book a moving van," Lishao decided. "It's just a car, not an heirloom," Shen Yuan shrugged. "And helping out a teacher, that's just what a good student does." Lishao waved her hand. "No need to trouble you. Between the two of us, we've got it covered." "All right, counselor, enough dodging. Helping you move isn't a big deal," Shen Yuan said casually. "Okay, fine," Lishao finally agreed. Realizing any further refusal would be awkward, she glanced at Shen Yuan, suddenly blushing. His face was sharp and defined. If not for the teacher-student dynamic, he was actually kind of handsome. "Wait, hold on, he's so eager to help me move. That bag he gave me earlier." Maybe Lemang was right. He does have feelings for me. He said it was a knockoff, but with his financial situation, there's no way that wasn't real. With that thought in mind, she asked carefully, "Shen Yuan, do you remember the bag you gave me before?" Shen Yuan looked over. "Of course." "Why?" she began, but before she could finish, Shen Yuan cut in. "Actually, it was the real deal. But hey, I'm not short on cash now. So giving a nice gift to a respected teacher." He froze mid-sentence, quickly correcting himself. "Wait, I meant a respected teacher. Not favorite like that." But that explanation only made things worse. Lishao's face turned even redder, so it really was that kind of meaning. "But no, this is inappropriate. I'm older and his teacher," she softly said. "All right, let's go. No need to give me the usual 'this isn't appropriate' lecture. I'm not giving up anyway." Shen Yuan knew Lishao wasn't like the others. She needed something slower, more genuine, and he was willing to take his time. Before long, they pulled up to the school gate. "Are you going home tonight?" she asked. "Nope," Shen Yuan replied. "No room for me at home, I'll sleep in the dorm. Then I'll leave the car here. You can drive it tomorrow," she said, handing him the key. In the next moment, Shen Yuan leaned in and gently kissed her on the cheek. For that split second, time seemed to freeze. The world went completely still.